つないでも OK ブルマークの怪獣バッテンが
今新たな興奮が始まる。蘇る熱きヒーローたち。超リアルな造形で完全再現。バンダイウルトラ怪獣シリーズ新登場。
ゲッターロボ G ドラゴンライガーポセイドン戦闘準備完了。人類の敵百鬼帝国を攻撃せよ。ライガーミサイルトマホークブーメランストロングミサイル。ジャンボマシンガーゲッターロボ G ドラゴンライガーポセイドンポピーより新発売。
Today on Collect All Monsters, we are kicking off 2021 with a celebration of Haruo Nakajima, the suit actor who played Godzilla from 1954 to 1972. Anyway, we're also going to talk about collection goals, we're going to have some giveaways, and a whole lot more. It all starts now. Ikimashou!
Why, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Collect All Monsters 2021. I guess you could say this is sort of our second season, definitely our second year of kicking it with kaiju collectibilities. And if you aren't familiar with me, my name is Kyle. I am one of the co-hosts of this crazy endeavor, and I would like to say hello. And we'll go around the room here, starting things off with my good friend Leslie P. Chambers. What's up, buddy? And share if you got anything recently too.
Okay, what is going on, people? The horrible memory that was 2020 is behind us, and we are here in 2021. Welcome to the first episode of Collect All Monsters 2021. I'm so happy to be back here with my kaiju family. Normally, this is around the part where I would showcase what I've gotten since the last time we've been talking, but ironically, I don't have anything to showcase. But that will change come next month. Yes, I don't have anything, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. Okay, haters. Okay, haters. But I'm happy. I'm happy that we're here, 2021, new episode. The Kong fan in me is surely happy. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to my main man up in Seattle, the one and the only awesome David Dopko. What's going on, David?
Hey, Leslie. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. And hey, everybody in the chat room. I can't respond to your questions because I can't really see it that well. But hey, thanks for coming. Happy New Year. Yeah, let's get 2020 behind us and start off fresh. This is our, as Kyle said, our second season, and yeah, just really excited for some really fun stuff that we've got in store for you guys this year. So I didn't really have too many box days. I actually only had one, and this one is from my good friend Nick Sides, and it is actually one from the set from the Bandai Premium Mechagodzilla set. So he's really wanted him, and Nick was selling him. So I absolutely love him. He goes great with the other one that I have.
Oh, perfect.
They both have like the silvery glitter pants, which is kind of cool. So, and then coming soon, John Ruffin and I actually split the Bandai Premium Jet Jaguar set, and we will be doing a simultaneous box opening video on our Collect All Monsters Monster Collector Facebook group. So look forward to that. Yeah, I really enjoyed Christine's unboxing video, and Kyle just did one recently. They're really fun. And I want to just put it out there to all you guys. Please, we'd love to see your unboxing videos.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, elaborate. Just show us your surprise when you get an awesome box from Japan. So we're really looking forward to that. That's all I got. How about you, John Ruffin, out there in Philly, PA?
Okay, come on to the East Coast. Hi, everybody, and Happy New Year. It's a blessing to be with my co-hosts. God bless you all. Thank you, everyone that's watching. Love you and appreciate just all the support that you have shown me over, not just over the years, but specifically last year and just through the months. I appreciate you all. It's great to be here. Now, where you all may not have had box days, you have about an hour. I'm just going to show a few things just quickly and a couple shout outs. First, Dell, the man, thank you for hooking me up with this beautiful Popey
awesome.
shirt. I mean, like, I wear it with pride. Thank you.
Dell is the man.
Dell is the man.
Awesome.
He is.
Oh, my Mecha Brojula, I think is how we say it.
Right.
This was from a wonderful co-host.
Oh, wow.
Mechagodzilla puzzle.
Oh,
Mine was awesome. Thank you, Kyle. You're the man.
That's
You're
awesome.
very welcome, man.
And okay, I also picked up I think it was 1999, the Godzilla Tokyo Clash on Amazon. So if you haven't gotten it, it's been slashed the price. So I would highly recommend get it while you can get it cheap. Okay,
I got that for Christmas.
And now this is from another fellow co-host. Like, you don't know, he doesn't know how much I was looking for a TV, Asahi Sonorama Ultraman. Yes, I haven't been able to find one. And this is from David. Bless you, David.
My pleasure, man.
You childhood, just this wonderful.
I know that's your thing. I couldn't
Yes.
not send that to you. So I hope you love it.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Found a 46-year-old Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla ticket.
That's amazing.
Oh man.
I think it only cost me 500 yen. It costs more to ship it. Yes.
Wow, it looks brand new. Wow.
Yeah, it's in good condition.
Okay,
And
that
then-
needs to be framed. Frame that.
Yes, I ordered my frame. I have it in a little folder for now, but you were absolutely correct. Picked up. This is from Bai. I found that ticket, but from Bai, I think maybe $10. Great card set, card game. Beautiful.
Cool.
Found a nice. I lost my. I couldn't find my. I had this book. Found it for 500 yen. So.
Wow.
You got some great
Gotta
deals.
find your books. And this one, oh man, I love this. This Showa, and I've never seen this format before, but this beautiful, just
Oh wow.
it's just got Showa written all over it. It's monotone, whatever, duotone.
Oh,
Which is somebody's got to get a beat down.
that's awesome.
But another great one. Another great book. This
Oh,
one,
I've got that one.
yeah.
That's
And then found Godzilla 2000 book with the CD-ROM. Let's see if I can still make it work.
nice.
And now this is a book that I've been wanting for many years. And when I found it, I was like, okay, this was an inspiration. And but it was Ultraman in the Real.
Yes. Yes.
And
Wait, hold on a minute. I don't have it in hand, but John Ruffin, man, sent me that for Christmas. So because he knows how much I love doing dioramas, and if I can't do them that good, at least I can look at them.
oh, you can.
But total inspiration. If you guys haven't seen that book, it is an absolutely gorgeous book. It's a coffee table book, worthy of any coffee table for kaiju fans. So yes. Thank
And
you.
last two items, I don't mean to hoard the time. A couple more albums. Sayonara, Godzilla, and Godzilla vs. Megalon. Got to get them while you can.
You can't. Yes, you do.
And that was my box days over the last couple weeks.
Was that all?
I could dig out a few more.
John, you set a precedent last year,
Do
man.
that.
I got box issues. So, Christine, how you doing?
amazing. I finally made it here to California. 4 days, 12 hours.
Congratulations.
So I started setting up my collection here. I absolutely love
That's
the West
amazing.
Coast. West Coast is
West
my
Coast.
Woo!
We just leaned over.
It was 70 degrees and sunny today, so I mean I can't complain for January. That's like unheard of. I'm so used to like sweaters and sweatpants and not being able to go outside. So this has been great for me. And I'm so glad it's 2021. 2020 was a crazy year, but I'm looking forward to everything that we have to bring to you guys this year. And it's going to be a great show and lots of fun, exciting things coming up for us. So I've only had 2 box days so far since I'm here. My first 2 box days at the new house. So I've got this I ordered through Steve, Sergio. I can never say the last name right.
Sarah Jolie.
Sarah Jolie. Thank you, David.
Easy.
Glow in the dark. Tabagumi doing the shade. I can never say it. Shade pose. Shade pose. So this glows in the dark. Shade pose. Yeah. I think this is so cute. I love. It's of course my favorite color, like turquoise blue. So I just got this, and then those of you that saw my live unboxing in Facebook
I love
group,
that. That's so
cool.
Kaiju's ramen. So this is the edition that glows in the dark. I actually haven't tested the glow in the dark still yet, but I think this is really, really cool. It's a lot bigger.
Cool.
This thing's pretty dang big.
I think Kyle has the brown version, right?
I have the first version.
Yep.
So I
believe Christine and I might do some sort of compare and contrast video at some point for those
That's
as well.
great.
Great idea. That's a fantastic vinyl. Wow.
Yeah, I really like that. So that's what I got going on over here in sunny California. And Kyle, how's it going over there in Oregon?
Well, also on the West Coast, just like David, but we don't have the luxury of those sunny days. I mean, every once in a while, it's nice, but yeah, this is the era of rain here in the Pacific Northwest.
Moss and rain.
Winters, mud, and wet leaves. You name it. My dog loves it. Anyway, we here in the Pacific Northwest, we still get our box days though.
Yes, we do.
So as you saw, if people were watching in the group, I had a recent box day where I was really happy to get this gorgeous Art Spirits Gigan 2004.
Fantastic! Oh, that's the one I saw photos of. That's fantastic.
Something about this pose, it's really dynamic. I mentioned it in the unboxing. The silhouette of this is just kind of unbelievably cool. And if you want to go back and watch it, it's still available where I talk about why I actually really like the Gigan from that movie. In an otherwise unwatchable film almost. And then the other thing I got was this awesome King Joe from Bullmark.
Fabulous.
Crazy that I just think it's amazing. Bullmark is back, baby. They're like back in business.
Oh yeah.
Kyle, what is the material the Gigan's made of? The material for the art.
That is a vinyl. Actually, it's a vinyl kit. It's not a kit. It's it's pre-painted. Everything like pretty much assembled. All you had to do is stick on the base.
Nice.
But yeah, and I know that our friend Corey has the Shin Godzilla, which John, if you don't have, it's pretty great sculpt.
Oh yeah, I have. Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's a vinyl material, and it's totally worthwhile. The Art Spirit stuff, what I've found is that their prices a little bit more. Actually, not just a little bit. It's more than an X-Plus figure. The detail is just about as nice, but the scale is smaller. So it's like one of those things where for me it's a constant like mental wallet battle. Like, oh, do I want to pay that much for something that's smaller than an X-Plus figure? So this time I actually got it for half price, that Gigan.
That's cool.
So actually even more than half price. Thank you, Mandarake.
Oh.
Yeah, it just didn't come with this box. That was the score. Anyway, that is all I need to share, really. There's a couple of other. Actually, there's one thing I should share. I can't show it to you guys because it is currently not. It's currently flattening, I guess is what I should say. But I got my Tom Whalen Invasion of Astro Monster print.
Oh, nice. Awesome! Wow.
That's beautiful.
Cannot wait to frame that guy. That's I've been waiting a while.
yeah.
Eric Stolp,
You're
one of our
posters.
viewers and a member of the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors group, also purchased his. Someone else in the group, whose name Arlo, I think it was, also got his as well. But anyway, yeah, just a super fun time to be a collector, right? All sorts of crazy cool stuff coming out.
True.
So actually, this is a perfect time for us to move along to our next segment. But before we jump into the news, let's give a shout out to our chat room, the people who are watching live. Dude, we have 64 people watching live right now.
That's awesome.
The magic number.
Might be,
The magic number.
that might be a record for a regular episode. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching live. Leslie, you want to go ahead and help me out with some shout outs for the chat room there?
First of all, thank you, folks, for making the 64 the number, because it's the best number. Yes, it is. It's the best number. Kaiju Battle, Gordon Flynn, JoJo S, Primeval S33, Tim Alton, Jonathan Portman. Helmy, what's up, man? John Parkinson, Godzilla Train 1090, Dadzilla, me, Larry Latham, Voodoo Powder, Lolo Kaiju. What's up, Lolo? What's going on? Bad Goji, Steve Serajoli, that's how you say his name, Steve Serajoli.
I still love you.
Greg Betters, Luminous, Tim Alton, Kaiju Live, what's up, AJ? Greg Cogan, Albert Escobedo, I am so sorry, so please forgive me. Alice Sawyer, Ryan Mitchell, just everybody's up in here tonight. Daggone right. Yes,
we got John Stanowski, Rich Iso.
Yeah, Rich.
That's pretty awesome.
I see Gretchen's watching. Man,
what's up, Rich?
Rito's watching.
You know what,
yeah,
Kong?
dude,
You know
oh
what?
my gosh.
You know what? Kong did a Rich Iso today. Bam!
Do I have to suck this?
Oh, I'm loving that. I really am.
Wait until Toho gets back. Just wait. There's another Zilla moment. Just wait.
just you wait, King Kong. You big monkey. Sorry. Uncalled for. Everybody's a little on edge because of this whole trailer.
I'm loving it. It's glorious. It is glorious.
It is glorious. You know what else is glorious, Leslie? Thank you for the segue word. We have recently had a boost in membership in our Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors group. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that we all wanted to make sure that the group stayed to be, as sort of like keeping its core ideals that we had going into it, that we also never just vocalized, really. I think we maybe said it on the show, but never wrote down any rules, never put anything in place in terms of like what we want out of the group. And so we tapped a couple of people, a couple of fellow collectors, fellow monster collectors. Lolo Kaiju, who you've seen on the show before, is one of our new moderators in the group. And unfortunately, she can't be here with us on screen today. She is watching live and moderating in the chat room. But we do have Jonathan Portman, who is our second moderator. And I'm going ahead and popping him on the screen right now. What's up, Jonathan?
Hey, Jonathan.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
We're doing good.
Got my Hedora sake glass here.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not very good at this.
Oh,
Awesome.
There's nothing in it. I just wanted to show it off. I'm sorry.
Here, I'll do that with my coffee cup that also has nothing in it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I got
There you
some
go.
tea in there.
I'm out to drink on my
There you go.
So you guys, real quick, if you've not seen Jonathan's video he made for our rules for the Collect All Monsters Monster Collector group, it's worth a watch because it's brilliant, it's funny, it's perfect,
it's great.
and it's so good. And I didn't even know he was going to do that, and it really surprised me. And I love it. So thanks for that. We definitely needed that, as Kyle said, and we're really happy to have you on board with part of our crew.
Definitely.
Well,
Thank you.
I gotta say I'm very honored to be on here right now and be a part of the crew. It's you guys are wonderful and very welcoming. That's why this group is flourishing the way it is, and I'm looking forward to so much more fun in the future for everyone. and the growth of this channel and the show and everything collecting wise. I wanted to throw a quick shot. I know you guys were doing your box days. I really didn't have a box day, but I guess you could consider this sort of a box day. I got Ultraman Taro yesterday.
Nice.
A steel book from Mill Creek. So
nice.
Nice. I forgot about that. Mine just showed up too.
That snuck up on me. I didn't even know that was out already.
Yeah, I know.
I know Robert Dwyer posted his find in the group, so I was like, oh, well, I didn't even know it was out. I had to get mine. I was like, I think it's coming in a couple days, but then it showed up. I was like, okay, guess the mailing is a little better.
Yes, thank goodness.
All right, so thank you for sharing, Jonathan. Do you have another one to share, or is that your big one?
That's my big one.
Right.
I should have something coming in a couple weeks or soonish.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for that.
So Jonathan and Lolo are not just moderating the group. They're moderating the live chat right now. I figured out how to do that. And so thank you so much for doing that, man. And not only is the moderation about, making sure everybody sort of stays within the parameters of the group, it's also about, in the group, it's about like coming up with cool stuff to do. And so in the coming weeks, these guys are going to help us implement some of the cool ideas that they have and we have for the Facebook group. So everybody can sort of like really get the most out of it, And I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you to you, and thank you to Lolo for being willing to take on this extra sort of like it's completely benign in some cases, but like I'm sure in some areas like we will actually need like moderators. So I'm really happy to have you on board.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for including me. Shout out to Lolo, partner in crime. You're amazing. Wish you could be here. Hope you feel better. And thanks guys. I really appreciate it. It was fun. I can't wait to keep going on the chat. It'll be fun.
Outstanding.
All right. Well, I think we're going to boot you off now, sir, but thank you very much.
I don't
We're going to kick you out of here with love and have fun watching the rest of the show.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, so glad we have a little extra help. And the cool thing about that is like when we reach out to the viewership for help, I feel like we've gotten a lot of people who we know watch for sure that are definitely interested in working with us on doing some cool stuff. Yeah. Jonathan also has provided some cool little video content you'll see a little bit later in the episode.
Yes, you will.
He makes awesome videos. They're so much fun. I love watching
those musical videos are really fun, and they enhance all of our photographs. So I really appreciate that too.
He does them on Instagram too. Is it Goji what's his Instagram?
It's Goji Ultra Edits, I believe.
Yeah, so
I'm sure since he's watching live, he can pop that information into the chat so that everybody can see it. Okay, so here's the deal. It's now time for us to go into our news segment. Oh, that's not the video one. That's just the regular one. It's time for the news, everybody. And as normally, we start off the year with a great news intro. So there we go. Anyway, I actually did not get to save out a bunch of stuff for Leslie's segment. So I'm just going to be winging it with him as he tells me what he's going to talk about. I'm going to share a screen. So kick it over to you, Leslie.
Yes, on the X-Plus side of things, a few things did come out or announced for pre-order since the last time we were on the show together. And I want to talk about at least two things in particular that came up for pre-order. The 25 centimeter X-Plus Jiger is a Rick exclusive release. It's more so an updated version of Jiger because X-Plus did a version of Jiger way back in the day, kind of like they did with Legion and Iris. But we got an updated version of Legion and updated version of Iris, and now they're doing an updated version of Jiger. It doesn't come with a standard edition or anything like that. It's just a Rick exclusive, and she is due out in April April, I believe. So when she comes out, I'm sure she'll be ready to find Gamera and impregnate him and all that other good stuff. Whatever. That does happen in the film, ladies and gentlemen. So
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Now onto the DefoReal side of things, because I'm huge in the DefoReals, and the DefoReals, I know a lot of people don't really get them, whatever, but they're like a cool little niche thing that you can get into. Small figures, highly detailed, really affordable. And if you thought the Mechagodzilla 74 DefoReal, which was awesome to count a couple of months ago, they're now coming out with the 75, and he is due out in June, I believe. And the Rick exclusive edition of this figure, or Rick accessory, I should say, is going to come up with multicolored lights in the eyes. Basically, the same thing that happened with the 30 centimeter Mechagodzilla 75 reissue that should be dropping in figure collectors' hands right now. They just basically recycled that same Rick extra or accessory and put it into the DefoReals. And I'm so excited for this because between the two Mechagodzillas from the Showa period, I actually prefer 75 over 74. They somehow managed to make it look more sinister, and with the darker or darkness on the metal is better in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to this release. And that's all I have to say in my news segment, Kyle. Thank you for showing those pictures for me.
Absolutely, my friend. And hey, thanks to Kaiju Battle, Michael Farrow, who's watching live, for saving my butt there for having that stuff at my fingertips. Definitely check out Kaiju Battle if you are interested in Kaiju collectibles, because they cover everything, and we basically cherry pick one thing to talk about for our news segment. So I believe that is going to kick things over to Christine.
I need a microphone for like my news segment.
Get it.
So I'm here with your SciFi update. So I don't know, maybe the past couple months, actually maybe even less since last year, Marusan has been doing these, they're called pop-up kaiju salon shops. And so he is lottering a bunch of different figures like the Rose Violante, and he just recently came out with this awesome guy. It's like the 450 series, so it's big, the 450. Mechagodzilla 2 clear with glow in the dark inside, and there also was just a clear transparent version. Yeah. So these, unfortunately, you do need someone in Japan to enter the lottery for you. So actually, Jeremy Money from Tokyo Toy Bastard, if you ever need help, if something comes up through Marusan that you would like to order, you can actually go through him. He has been like helping out a lot of our fellow collectors in the group to get some of these figures, because they're very limited, and they're only sold at the pop-up shop in Japan. So the only way to get them is you have some. I think this one was what, 250 yen for the 450, and the 350, which is the smaller size, the transparent version. That one was, I didn't write down. I think it was like 100 yen, but super cool. Actually, I think Dow got one of these through Jeremy. I think I may have a picture of it. Is that the only picture I had in the folder, Kyle?
Oh no, sorry. I will cycle through.
I had a glow in the dark version of it. Oh yeah, so the
that's nice.
The gut part of it.
Well, that really glows too.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can take the head off for the brain.
I think Nick Sides has one too, and he posted a picture, and you can kind of really see the inner workings of the robot, and it just looks really cool. Like I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, that was the first issue of that figure.
Oh, that was the first one. Yeah. It just surprised me how cool it looked, and he said it's actually very heavy too when you pick it up, because there's a lot of vinyl and stuff in there. So
it's a 2-in-1.
Yep, 2-in-1.
Yeah. It's fabulous.
So, I mean, Marusan has really been coming out with they had the Final Form Violante that he just had. I'm still waiting on a glitter version. I'm waiting for a glitter version on that one. And he did tease, I didn't have time to put a picture in there, a 450 Goji! Yes!
I saw that.
Nice.
Oh my god. Like, I need that. It looks amazing. So I can't wait for that to start popping up, because I definitely need to get one of those. So excited. I still need the Final Form Violante, but it'll look great with my Rose Form.
Frank Piz
I should have looked over anything.
Damn you, Marusan!
Yes. Like, it's exciting though. He's coming out with so much new stuff lately. Like, it's very exciting.
Yeah, he's banging it out.
Great sculpt. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, David. So we got for your news, your exciting news.
Well, I got something pretty exciting, hot off the presses from Beto Mitali and Steve Saragioli. Model creators and collaborators are coming up with some cool vinyl kits. And I have their blurb hot off the presses that I'm going to read to you guys. So are you ready?
Bring it on.
Roto Kaiju is proud to present their latest in the line of high-quality vinyl monster model kits, the 1/58 scale King Gorilla and Mecha Gorilla. Both are expertly cast in vinyl, just like your favorite kaiju figures and model kits. Mecha Gorilla stands almost 35 centimeters tall and is available in a standard and a deluxe kit. The deluxe kit includes the standard kit, of course, plus fan favorite options like an extra grenade belt laden torso, a hypno siren, and an extra option with parts for the shoulders to recreate famous battle poses. The eyes and the hypno siren are expertly cast in clear resin. King Gorilla stands at almost 34 centimeters tall and features incredible movie-like detail and an awesome action pose. These kits are available in the 1/58 scale for the very first time, and just like other scale models like cars and building sets. The result of several years of study and research, these are the most film-accurate versions of these characters ever created. And they will both be available for you to buy this spring from Roto Kaiju. Now, how cool is that?
Awesome.
That's awesome.
How was that?
Wow.
Did it do good?
I know Steve's watching live. I'm sure.
I know
Steve's
watching it, and Steve sent me that text. He's like, David, stick to the script, baby. And I pretended like it was a hot off the press, and I couldn't make those words any better than he wrote them for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna put in my 2 cents. They're really awesome kits, and I go so far as to say these are the quintessential versions of these characters.
Indeed.
Bam. And
you will see it on the show. You will see him on the show because I got a set pre-ordered. Steve is making them and building them for me. So you will see him on the show. And it's from a movie called King Kong Escapes. Only one person on this panel has not seen the film yet, but we're going to go there right now. So let's get moving.
Yeah, that's pretty true. She's
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it.
I'm going to tell Linda Miller, and then you're going to be in trouble.
No.
So, real quick, this was actually not my very first news story. The first one I came up with was an announcement that Billiken, model kit company, has created an online web store for their vinyl model kits. And the reason I'm just sort of saying it in passing, and Kyle, I think you have some images up there somewhere.
Yeah.
The reason that it's not my main story, because the other one's cooler anyway, it's because everything on the store is sold out. It's sold out almost instantly. And I'm hoping that they're going to replenish the supplies eventually and frequently, so we can all get a chance to. Yeah, that's the logo. And see, there's Jurass and Twin Tail, and 64 Godzilla and Mikaros. And the prices were really super reasonable. They were about 6,000 yen, give or take.
Wow.
So I mean, super reasonable. And Kyle and I think we talked about this in a past episode, that if you're a beginner and you want to start building model kits, the best Japanese kits to start with, in our opinion, is probably Billiken. Even more so than Kyoto, because a lot of the pieces fit together without any, and they're movable, and they're big enough to work with. Eventually, one or two of us are going to build a Billiken kit for you guys to see how that goes. But anyway, keep checking out the Billiken site. I think we could probably have a link to it either in the show notes or our Facebook group. So look for that. Yeah,
I'd say both for sure.
Both for sure. Leslie is showing a Billiken kit, and that's the Daisenso Goji 65, which is one of their best Godzilla sculpts, in my opinion.
Got that guy.
Mm-hmm.
We should do a.
It's the only Billiken I
kit
have left
building
except for
together.
Kong.
Yeah, and they're such great kits, and they go together so well. And I think it's the gateway for you guys to move on to bigger and better things. So, having said that, that's all I got. John Ruffin, what do you got for us today?
I go all nostalgia. Kyle, I don't know if you have my PDF.
I have it. Yeah, I have. It's it
Fire it
still
up
has
for
this. There you go.
So, like many of you may already know, but if you really feel like going back to the past, the good old days of vinyl, Waxworks has released a beautiful, what appears to be a really beautiful set of records for the Godzilla Showa era from 54 to 75. And it's quite impressive, to say the least. You get all 15 Godzilla films, but you get 18 colored vinyl discs because there's 3 films with it. There's two LPs that are included. Colin, you can go to the next slide. This is 3. Yeah, I'll show some of the details. There's a collector's box set. It's remastered audio for vinyl, and there's beautiful artwork included.
Wow.
And in addition to, you get a beautiful case that has a magnet flat, which features all the album covers as well. The price, you can go to the next slide too, Colin. Yeah, you can see a little bit more of some of the sample covers. And it comes in at $450, which is a big, it looks like a hefty price, but it's well worth it for the 18 albums and beautiful artwork in the box. And they put a lot of care into it. They have photos that they've tweeted of the printing and that's going into it. So it looks really impressive. I would like to finance it. So I found that PayPal has a credit kind of system where you can pay in installments. So that kind of takes the bite out of the price. Shipping is said to be in March, and you can learn more about this beautiful record set at waxworksrecords.com. And that's it for me.
Exciting.
It is.
It's a high price tag, but think about it, guys. I mean, that's the price of a gigantic. I mean, and if you're really into the music, like some of us are, I don't have a turntable, sadly, but and I have most of that music anyway. But I would love to get that at some point. And I mistakenly thought at one point that the turntable came with it. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. That's not so bad.
So
but sadly, I was mistaken.
I picked up I think it was only $50 turntable on Amazon about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And it has an MP3. You can hook it up to your computer with a USB cable and use, I forgot the name of the little software, and you just play. You can play it and it'll rip it right to your computer. So that's what I do with my Apple, so I don't mess them up. But it is wonderful to put the vinyl on the player and just let it. Those good old days when we only had vinyl records, and taped cassettes.
Yep.
So it's nothing like that feeling of nostalgia. Now, I would probably not want to take it out of the box just because of the collector value, but it is,
Scratch too. You hate to scratch it.
Yeah. You can get there's a turntable at Walmart, the Victrola. That's the one I got. It's a Victrola one, and it was like $50 too. Yeah.
Everyone at home can have a kaiju music dance party.
We can all split the cost of that entire record set, and then it's like we can cycle through the records, just pass them down, right? Really, and entrench ourselves into that community by splitting a $450 bill with everybody else.
Just take our favorite.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, so I guess that means it is time for me to hit my news item, and I'm very vocal about not being a huge fan of Godzilla versus Megalon. I know that strikes a lot of people at their core, and I apologize for that. However, I have found more respect for Megalon in recent years, I guess I would say. And so I want to share something, a news item. Did you guys know that this is not the news, this is old news. There's a deleted shot or scene where Godzilla picks up a tree and sort of turns it into like a samurai sword and puts like a branch or something in his mouth. And he's imitating a famous Japanese actor or character. And anyway, this was done, but then it was never really put into the movie. And I love that kind of stuff, right? Well, our good friends at Dream Planet are releasing a sort of kit polyresin, I think, version of this figure. And it's not cheap, but at the same time, it's the only time I've ever seen anybody outside of a model kit. The only time I've ever seen anybody produce a fully ready to open, ready to display piece of the Megalo Goji, with all the crazy samurai-esque appearance or accessories there. And this is a weird thing. I like quirky weird things. I love how that company Cast has those deep cuts where you're like, wow, what is this little ornament that they made? Oh, this is the footprint that the Matthew Broderick Godzilla leaves when it's on the beach, and it's just like they've come up with some crazy stuff. That's just one example of, I'm going to say, hundreds of different weird deep cut pieces that Cast does. So it's cool to see a company like Dream Planet come up with their own. And because I am an equal opportunist, I will show you that it's a $300 kit. It's actually available on their website. I'm sure you have to have a Japanese proxy, but that's what companies like Zen Market are for if you're into this.
I can't see the scale, Kyle. What's the scale of that kit?
Oh man, it says 32 centimeters.
Oh, so that's looking size. That's great. That's nice.
Big.
And just look at the detail. Wow. The detail is phenomenal. I think the paint job's a little off. It's a little too light, but you could easily, give that another little, magic, paint job and make it more movie realistic. But the sculpt itself is pretty good, and I'm pretty
good. I like it.
I'm actually considering it myself.
I think it's a win. It's especially if you, like I said, if you like the deep cuts. I actually have the 73 X-Plus, the Godzilla 1973 from X-Plus, their 25 centimeter scale line, and I've considered taking his hands and heating up his arms and trying to bend his forearms so that he's holding the sword. He's almost doing it. That's why I was like, I think I might be able to do this. It's one of those projects, like the same one that's like, oh, I'm going to take one of those maser cannons and turn it into an A-cycle light ray in all of my free time.
I like it.
Oh, well, hey, before we kick off into the next segment, which is our first real segment produced for this episode, I would like to thank everybody who is watching live right now. We got 76 people watching on both YouTube and Facebook.
76.
We really appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate you guys watching live, and hopefully we'll have some cool news to share later in the show. But right now, it's time for our next segment, which is something that I've been working on, and then this is like something that I'll present, and then the rest of the group will chime in with their bits as well. So we are in January. January 1st is the birthday of several people, but most importantly, especially for right now and for this particular presentation, January 1st is the birthday of Haruo Nakajima, who we lost several years ago. Haruo Nakajima is the man who played Godzilla from 1954 to 72, with some other roles thrown in there, and we are going to do a little bit of chatting about this for you guys. So what I wanted to do is give a little bio of Nakajima, so we'll see how well I do on that. Nakajima was born January 1st, 1929. There he is as a baby, adorable little Nakajima-san. He was born in an area of Japan called Sakata, which is a coastal city or coastal town, and his father had a butcher shop. He was the oldest, not the oldest, the third oldest of 5 brothers. Here he is with his 2 older brothers. He's on the right. There's Nakajima in 1943 when he entered the Naval Academy in Yokosuka. I did not make a separate slide for this, but basically, if you look at where Sakata is, it's way, can you see the mouse? It's way up here by Sendai, and Tokyo's down here. Right near Tokyo, that's where Yokosuka is. Yokosuka has a naval base, and so he entered that Naval Academy in 1943, the same year, basically, that the war kind of ended. He eventually found himself sort of in between jobs, looking for stuff to do, And he did get married. This is his wife. Oh my gosh, I don't have her name written down in front of me. I think it's Kuniko. But this is his wife. I believe, is also his high school sweetheart. In 1949, though, because he was sort of bouncing around jobs in and around Tokyo, he entered Toho's acting school. And you can see him in several films as a background player. Not that I've seen these movies. Here he is with some people at a track who are basically just onlookers. He literally is a background player. I don't think I've ever seen him in a speaking role outside of something I'll show a little bit later. Later on in his life, he will continue to do these on-screen but non-talking roles, and we've heard about him being a samurai. In Seven Samurai, there he is with Akira Kurosawa. And then we're going to wind it back to 1953, though, because that's where he made a historic move. Nakajima was in a movie as one of those players. He was a pilot. And it's funny, he actually always wanted to be a pilot, but he was a pilot in this movie. And that's when, during a scene, two people took note of him. One was Ishiro Honda, the director, and the other was a special effects director, Eiji Tsuburaya, who essentially looked at them and said, hey, can you take some abuse? Because I think we want to do something cool. At this time, stuntmen in Japan were apparently not a thing in the movies, right? So basically, if you played this role, and that role meant you got pushed down a flight of stairs, be prepared to get pushed down a flight of stairs. Anyway, so Tsuburaya and Honda put him in a scene where he is on fire, and he has to escape from his jet, and he is on fire from Eagle of the Pacific. But the reason that is significant is because that, ladies and gentlemen, is the test that he was put through to get the role for the next big project at Toho. I think we all know what that is. Also, shout out to John Ruffin and his beautiful toy photography right there.
Yeah, wow.
So yes, he became Godzilla. And basically each one of us is going to talk about an iconic role in just a few minutes, but we're going to just kind of quickly go through some of his roles. He started off with Godzilla. We know why it was hard, but that's why he was there. He had a tough time doing that job, but they brought him back for the second film, Godzilla Raids Again, where of course he fights Angulus in then in 1956, he was inside of the Rodan suit. And David's going to talk a little bit about that later. In 1957, he was a Mysterian, but he also was inside of the Mogura suit. Did you guys know that he played a Mysterian as well? I think in the... if anybody have this book here? It's like a photo book of Nakajima's work. And in here, there's a photo of him as a Mysterian. I think it's one of the guys who's like shot. He's on the ground as some of the main character actors are running around. Anyway, yes. So, sorry, getting sidetracked. Of course, he played one of my favorite monsters, Varan, in Daikaiju Varan, or Varan the Unbelievable. And of course, he flies in this movie. But you might not believe a monster can fly in Daikaiju Varan. And then we have 1961's Mothra, where he is actually inside of that Mothra suit. It's a huge, huge costume. There's a shot overhead, I think, unless it's already passed, where you can see how large the set is. Actually, if I do this, you might be able to see it. There it is. You can see how large that set is. Anyway, moving along to 1962, King Kong versus Godzilla. Of course, Nakajima is back to play Godzilla after all of those other roles. And of course, this is only Godzilla's third movie. And did you know, it's not a kaiju role, but I love Atragon. 1963's Atragon, or Kaite Gonken, is something really special about it. And he plays the frogman, the Moo frogman that pops up at the very beginning of the film. Anyway, also the same year, 1963, we saw Matango, and he didn't play that very first shot. He plays one of these guys, the bigger, bulkier mushroom men. Nakajima grabbing all those poor shipwrecked fools. And then, of course, we are back, 1964's Mothra versus Godzilla. He plays Godzilla.
Yes!
Of course, he's going to keep doing this. Big surprise.
Great performance in that one.
Good performance.
The best
really,
suit.
really.
The best suit.
Best suit, but also the performance is really, really great. Like, this is why I included this clip.
Yep.
It's him outside of the suit. You know, I love him on the beach.
Best show ever.
This I thought was a really great photo because you get Eiji Tsuburaya standing right in front of him. That's Nakajima in the bandana behind.
That's his Mothra prop too. My God.
Yeah. It's
Huge.
And then, of course, this very same year, they had Ghidra, the three-headed monster. So he played Godzilla again, fighting the three-headed terror from outer space. And, you know, this is, of course, where he begins that heroic journey that I think one of our co-hosts is going to be talking about a little bit later. 1965, the very next year, he played Baragon in Frankenstein versus Baragon. I absolutely adore the fact that he sort of goes in and out of these monster suits and then into the human suits later. Here's a great photo of him in the Baragon suit with the sort of crew around him. The guy in the beret there with the glasses, that's a very, very young Keizo Murase.
Wow.
No way.
And of course, if you got Nick Adams in 1965 in your Frankenstein movie, you better put him in a Godzilla movie, right? So Astro Monster comes out, or Invasion of Astro Monster, and Godzilla does everything, including going to space and dancing on Planet X. This photo is actually from that year. This is two of his co-stars that are also in the suits, Masaki Shinohara, who played Rodan, and Shoichi Hirose, who played King Ghidra. Hirose actually played many characters in over the years. Someday we'll have to do like a huge like suitmation explosion kind of presentation. That'd be cool. Moving along, he moved ship, right? He didn't move ship, but basically Tsuburaya said, I can't do these Ultra shows without you. And so Tsuburaya asked him to be Gomez in Ultra Q, one of my favorites. I'll be talking about this guy later. And it wasn't just Gomez. He played Pagos.
I love Pagos.
Very important for the let's see, how would I say this? The quintilogy of Baragon suits. I love the Baragon suit was made for Pagos and some of the other monsters, and it makes sense, right? Because Nakajima was in Baragon, so he fits the suit. They made him into Pagos, and then of course in Ultraman, they use that same suit to make Naranga here. It's really, I've got all of them represented in X-Plus form. Sometimes I put them around like a little circle. It's like the circle of life. The circle of life of a Baragon suit. And then here's Gabora also using that same
Oh my god, I got a little use out of that.
There is one more Ultra suit that apparently he didn't play Magular, but that's another suit that they took and added stuff to the Baragon suit as Magular.
Correct.
We'll go ahead and, of course, touch on the fact that Gomez was the first monster I showed you from the Ultra series. This is the second monster made from a Godzilla suit. This is Jiras. And, of course, for a brief second here, Godzilla with a frill, the frill is removed, and then Godzilla and Ultraman are fighting for, what is it, like 5 seconds, David? Something like that?
Seconds, give or take.
Anyway, we'll move along to another episode. This is the Spaceship Rescue Command, where Ultraman actually, there's actually two monsters in this episode, but this one is Kira. And this was played by Haruo Nakajima right there. You can really tell it's Nakajima, right? Using the way he moves in those suits. Anyway, hopping back over to Toho, 1966 brought us the sequel to Frankenstein Conquers the World. And, of course, we all know that Nakajima gets to play Gaira, the Green Gargantua, which is one of his favorite roles. I'm sure Leslie's going to talk about that. And then also in 66, he was Godzilla for Ebirah Horror of the Deep, fighting a giant lobster. 67, the following year, the big kaiju boom year, that's when he gets to play King Kong for the first time.
Yeah.
in King Kong Escapes. And then he didn't play Godzilla in Son of Godzilla, except for the scenes that they used the 1966 suit for in the water here.
Yep.
And of course, 1968, he played Godzilla in Destroy All Monsters. I'm going to blast through a bunch of these. As you guys know about Latitude Zero, Latitude Zero is an insane movie where there are giant rats, giant Batmen, and a griffin, and Nakajima played all of those monsters.
It's a wild movie, man.
It is really wild. And then, of course, in 69, he was fighting Gabara for Armenia in All Monsters Attack. 1970, Nakajima played both Gezora and Ganime in the movie Space Amoeba, or Yog, Monster from Space. And then here's an awesome shot of him in the Gezora costume.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember who did this. Maybe it was Resin Chef, but basically there's a kit version of this where the top of the cuttlefish comes off, and there's a Nakajima inside of the kit.
That's cool.
I'm sure Ryan Mitchell knows. He's still in the chat room. He's the model guy. He's the go-to model guy.
So then we go all the way to the following year, 1971, where Godzilla does battle with Hedorah, and this is significant for, I'm sure. I'm just going to let John talk about why that's significant, but this is, of course, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. At this point, Nakajima's studio contract was up. After the Smog Monster, he was no longer, he nor Toho, they were not obliged to have him be Godzilla in their next movie, Godzilla versus Gigan, but apparently the crew sort of banded together and pulled some strings to get him to be Godzilla, which was, of course, his final performance. One, he gets to battle again with his buddy Angulus, and two, he gets to battle one of my favorite villain monsters, actually two of my favorite villain monsters, King Ghidorah and Gigan. And literally in this movie, you literally wave goodbye to Godzilla as Nakajima walks off into the sunset, right? It's a sad moment when you think about it like that, but it's also so fun and so goofy and such a great way to end the film that they did that in many other films. Anyway, there he goes. There's Nakajima-san in the last use of that Godzilla costume. If you did not know, listeners or viewers, it was used in Destroy All Monsters, All Monsters Attack, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, and Godzilla versus Gigan.
Got his work.
And it was tore up by the time.
Yeah, totally tore up by the time.
I love that.
Right?
So I want an X-Plus figure like that. Tore up.
Oh, that would be awesome if they had like the hanging bits of flesh off it. I would probably watch that. Anyway, I'd probably buy that.
Our friend Cody Roberts did a custom of his 68, just putting that out there, of that tore up suit.
Oh, nice. I do remember that. I do remember that.
It's pretty cool. I was impressed with that.
Awesome.
Okay, so Nakajima continued to work for Toho, but not on screen. They put him to work in staff positions. I've read a couple of things. Number one, I've read he worked in the Toho bowling alley. I've read that he worked at the Toho Mahjong parlor, and I also read that he did some driving for them as well. So I'm not exactly sure what the end result is there, but basically he was sort of shuffling around. And the next video here, if you have not seen this is on YouTube, not my footage. Nakajima put on a promotional suit in 1983 for Uchusen magazine, which is a Japanese magazine. I have a couple of the magazines, but I don't have this one. I would love to see the photo spread that came out of this. But this is, again, available to watch on YouTube. And at the very end of the video, if I can continue sort of talking through this, at the very end of the video, you can actually see him getting out of the suit, and Sonoe's there helping out. It's Sonoe is his daughter, actually, which I will talk about in the... Man, I'm just not going to let this go. After many, many years, about 20-ish years, Nakajima was invited to be a guest at conventions, started to be invited to be a guest at conventions, and the first one was 1996's G-Con, where he was there with Kenpachiro Satsuma. Hey, look, there's a very young Stan Hyde there.
Oh,
wow.
that continued. Nakajima continued to be invited to conventions, and there was sort of a resurgence. I can't remember what year this was. I think it was like 2012 or 2013 or something. He was invited to Monster Palooza, and August Ragone was involved, and he worked with somebody to create this killer poster that celebrated Nakajima. You could see him there signing some of them.
Great.
And that is actually his daughter Sonoe that I was talking about, standing next to him. And they're talking with Tetsu from Anime Jungle at the front of the table there.
That's great.
And Nakajima continued to do appearances. I should say that this appearance at Monster Palooza, several of these appearances have gained media coverage from wherever they are. And then sometimes that gets picked up in Japan, and Nakajima would go through a little bit of a boon over there. But with this one here from Monster Palooza, his hometown of Sakata actually had a fan club that sort of finally organized themselves, as is sort of how they put it in the video. And they created like a museum exhibition of Nakajima's work, basically. And there's a great video about it. Hopefully, I don't know if I actually have a link to any of this, but basically there's a couple of videos that I will link to in the show notes. One is from oh, here we go. Cool. So this was one. This is The Man Who Became Godzilla. This is from Sci-Fi Japan TV. This is Jim Ballard and J.R. Libertito, the guys who shot my documentary. They did a great piece on Nakajima and what I was just talking about, his little fan club in Sakata. And then the other video that I would suggest, and I'll put in the show notes, is Great Big Story. They did a lovely piece for Nakajima. I think it was in March of 2017. And in that video, you can see some very cool images of stuff that people have sent Nakajima over the years. David.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that video, and I was so my jaw hit the ground when a photo collage that I made for Nakajima-san is pictured behind him in this video. And I was just so honored and grateful. And it really filled my heart. It's like, that is what it's all about. And, being able to be at these conventions with him, those photos you showed before were actually my photos from Monster Palooza. I think that was 2015, Kyle, 2015 to 2016. I can't remember.
Let's see. That one, I think, was 2016, the one on the top left.
The bottom one is from Chiller. That's from Chiller when he was there with all three Godzillas. But the other one was from Monster Palooza. He's just a wonderful guy. Get to have dinner with him. Sonoe is just a sweet, sweet person. Very, very caring for her father. Just was there for him every step of the way. And, it was just so great to have him be able to come and spend time with his fans in his golden years. I just can't say enough about that. But yes,
he loved it.
Amazing stuff. And he did love it.
And then, unfortunately, on August 7th, Nakajima lost his life to pneumonia. And I think about a week later, they had a small ceremony for friends and colleagues. This is Ed Holland from Monster Attack magazine and Ben Furuya, who played Ultraman, of course, in the 1966 series. It's difficult to see, but basically that photo of them, they are standing in front of a display, and that display in the background are photos of Nakajima with fans who sent their photos in. Here's another shot of the table with some other memorabilia there. We all miss Nakajima very much. He was very important for everybody here. I'm very happy that I was able to meet him and have some interactions with him. I don't need to talk about any more of that stuff, because we're going to continue on with the segment, because this is not supposed to be a bummer segment. This is a celebration of Nakajima and his life and his roles. And so I guess I'll put it to you guys. Should we go in chronological order in terms of the movies, or should we go in round the room order that we're already in?
Just go around the room where we are. It's fine.
Okay, round the room
then
order.
I have to go first. I want to go first.
All right, so let me go first. I will say I need to open up a window here. So let me just do my.
That was wonderful, Kyle. I loved that. It was great.
Yeah, beautiful.
The problem with doing tribute like that is, of course, you can't cover everything. It's
No,
there's so much stuff you can cover. Okay, so where is...
Watching those clips makes me want to go watch all of those Ultraman shows now.
Yes. The childhood memories he made for us.
Absolutely, 100%.
I still have to watch some of those. I have my Ultraman DVDs I brought with me in one of my boxes here still. I gotta bust them out and start watching them.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Nothing like the original.
And King Kong Escapes. I'm gonna get to that.
Okay,
Too late.
so I've got a few images to share here. And then I think each of us have like an image to share, at least one image.
Yeah.
And then what we're doing, the reason this is taking me so long is because I forgot to open up my images ahead of time. But basically, we're taking our favorite, or not favorite, some iconic Nakajima rolls, and we're going to talk about those a little bit because we've got them in collectible form. And so I'm just going to go ahead and kick things off. I'll do this view. This is Gomez. Gomez, as I mentioned in the video, or the presentation, essentially was the first Ultra Q monster. Is made from a Godzilla suit. And I have loved the Gomez design ever since I saw it. I think maybe the very first time I saw it, I was like, well, that's goofy. But then as soon as I saw the actual episode, I fell in love with the monster. I have a Gomez collection. Happy to say that I have a Gomez collection. Let me show you the behind the scenes photo of Gomez.
Oh wow!
Look at that.
Cool.
Nakajima sitting outside of the suit, half in, half out. That perfect balance for Nakajima.
Relax.
So not only this figure, let me do this. This figure is actually made by Artstorm or Future Models. Not Future, Future, but Feuture. They have created a bunch of Ultra stuff like this. So it's one of a series, but he comes with the Litra, who's actually up there. And this is one of the many Gomez figures that I have. And I think it's really an outstanding design, first and foremost. It's like deformed in a way that makes it sort of chibi, but at the same time, it's very, very well detailed. And despite a little dust on him, the paint application is absolutely fantastic. They've got some nice metallic work going on in there that makes it really pop against the flat. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off a little too much about this. But I really do love Gomez. He's like one of my favorite monsters, and I think it's significant that not only was he Gomez, but he was Pagos. He was Jiras. Here's him getting into the Jiras suit. This is him in the Naranga suit, and there you go. That's who I chose as my my monster of the week, I guess I should say, for the celebration. I believe that thing, that means we're going over to Mr. Leslie Chambers. You ready, buddy?
Of course. Yes, I am. And of course, we all know that he was Godzilla throughout the majority of the Showa series, where he encompassed a good majority of the characterization that Godzilla went through, from being a serious metaphor to a straight up villain to an anti-hero to a father figure to a superhero. And it's easy to pick out a Godzilla figure or a Godzilla design. But I chose Gyra because I love this monster. And with Nakajima playing the superhero Godzilla, with this role, he does the complete opposite, where he plays basically just a giant, bloodthirsty predator. But that's basically what Gyra was. As a kid, we're drawn to heroes, but as I've gotten older, I gravitate more to the villains. And I have to say that, with all due respect to the other villains out there in the Tokusatsu game, King Ghidorah, Gigan, whatever, I think Gyra is without a shadow of a doubt the greatest kaiju villain ever in the history of Tokusatsu. He's just awesome. I don't want to take up too much time here because I know we got more. The rest of my hosts want to talk. So I just keep it short and simple. I think that much of the success of War of the Gargantuars goes to Gyra, and it goes more so to the man behind the suit. So Yes, that's why I chose Gyra. He's awesome. If you're not seeing What a Gargantuous, please, check it out. Don't go into it with this farce mentality that, it's guys in plant costumes and stuff like that. It really is a great movie. It really is.
It is.
And from what I understand, I think this was Nakajima's personal favorite role. So, hey, we both great minds. Great minds think alike. All right, so I'm gonna kick it over to the next host. Go ahead, David.
Actually, Christine's next, right? Or
me?
Oh, Christine.
I think this
yeah. So I had to go with the classic, the 54 Godzilla.
Of course, you have to.
I mean, I picked this one because this was the first Godzilla movie that I saw when I was about 5 or 6. My dad had bought me King of Monsters, so this was my first introduction to tokusatsu and suit acting and all this kind of stuff from Japan. And so this is what I fell in love with. This is the gigantic series X-Plus Godzilla. But I mean, I think is Nakajima's, it is his most iconic role that everyone recognizes. And just the way he was able to portray the character in such like a heavy, bulky suit, where he can move around a lot in it. But I just lost what I was going to say. I'm just going to get. Then I also have the 30 centimeter X-Plus figure that I wanted to show off here. So one of the things about this suit is, so when they first made, this is my one, when they first made the first production of the suit, it was so heavy that Nakajima wasn't able to move around in it barely at all. So they cut the suit in half. So as you know, the bottom portion they used for his feet stomping along the city and destroying the buildings, and then the top portion they used for some of the water images, where the second part where he's going through the channel of water and throwing up the bridges and all that. So I thought that was really interesting. Even though he couldn't use the whole fursuit, they were still able to use parts of it to film for the movie. And so this was my first introduction to Godzilla and to Nakajima. So this is the one that I picked. I'm gonna bring my big old guy up here again. This is what a lot of us think of when we're thinking of monster movies from Japan, is Godzilla.
Absolutely.
So that was my pick. Love this guy.
Excellent.
And who's your choice who's your choice, David?
Okay, so before I go into my choice, I just want to say, you keen kaiju movie watchers out there, next time you're watching your Godzilla movies, check to see if you can find the cameos of Nakajima where he shows up out of costume.
Oh, yes.
He does it in quite a few, but there's 3 that I'm going to briefly chat about. Number 1, the original 54. He's in the newsroom scene where they're printing out the newspapers of Godzilla's first attack, or his appearance in Tokyo Bay. I'm not sure what exactly is on the newsprint, but he's in the newsroom. You can see him. He's right there. You can see his face. He doesn't have any speaking lines, but he's definitely there. The second one I want to give a shout out to is in Destroy All Monsters, where he is in he's in one of the control room when the key locks are, saying, "Hey, King Ghidorah, we got him." Blah, blah, blah. And he turns around. You can see him. He's right down front for like a good 2-3 seconds. You can see Nakajima, like his face spot on. And then the other one that I just discovered recently was in King Kong Escapes, which Christine hasn't seen, so she won't know this. It's the scene where they're in Tokyo and Susan is in Kong's hand, and all of a sudden, all of the crowd looks over to that building where Mechanicon comes busting through, and then it pans over to the frightened city people, and there's Nakajima right in front of the barricade, right there. So please check those out. It's kind of cool to see him out of costume, and I love that Toho decided to put him, in front of the screen, so we could actually see his face instead of just being in a monster suit, which I think was really cool. There may be others, but I can't really recall what they are now. I'm sure there are others.
There are
others. So moving right along to my choices, my choice is Rodan, 1956 Rodan. Now, the reason I chose this, and I find this is to be sort of iconic and really groundbreaking, is because in the original 54, many of you already know this, but some might not know this. Nakajima did a lot of research on how wild animals move, and he went to the zoo to study elephants for the original 54, which really didn't do anything because he couldn't really do anything but just barely walk and get, from place to place, and he wasn't really able to emote or like portray any kind of an animal. He did the same thing for Rodan, but this was even a more cumbersome suit. And he went to the zoo and he watched ostriches and large birds of prey move. And again, he couldn't do anything but basically hold up the suit and not fall over as he's flapping the wings. He actually not only played Rodan, but he actually played Meganeuron, part of Meganeuron. There's several people that played in that suit, also some extra puppeteers. And I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but in the Godzilla biography photo book, there's a scene of the hatchling Rodan, and I'm assuming that maybe he had some kind of a hand in animating that actual puppet too. Maybe Jim Cirinella, if he's still here, can actually illuminate that a little further. But it's cool to think that maybe he did that too. But Rodan, Kyle, I think you have a picture of how difficult it was.
I have two actually.
Oh yeah, two. Well,
the first one is one you weren't expecting. So you keep talking. I'll show you that one, and then we'll move to the one you know about.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I love that one. Yeah, you can see the size of that set and how tall actually the top of the department store is. And I guess he was sort of like testing out what was going to happen when he actually had the Rodan suit on. And it was just so hard for them to do anything but sort of just get him to flap the wings and kind of move around, because it was such, and that's the picture that I had. You can see I guess they were just shooting from the bottom portion. He has the head off, and he's got the bandana, and the wind machine is going, and you can see how cumbersome and how difficult that shoot must have been for him, and how uncomfortable. And I'm sure you guys know the iconic scene where he's flying. He flies into the water under that bridge, and he flies up, and then all of a sudden this cable breaks and he falls crashing down back into the water. Luckily, they were able to get him without doing any damage or having him drown or anything like that, God forbid. But it was a really challenging role for him to play because of the cumbersome aspect of that actual suit. So for that, I give him props, and that's what I chose. I love the 56 Rodan. I know I'm looking forward to the X-Plus favorite sculptor line 56 Rodan, which should be coming. I think it starts to ship next week, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully. And so it's very hard to choose, but I chose Rodan. How about you, John Ruffin? What did you choose?
You all had wonderful choices. For me, my choice is tied to my childhood and the film that I saw the most, just about the most, in any of the Showa films. And it just sort of holds a place for me, in my heart. And for how I remember Godzilla when I was growing up, it was, I didn't want to see 54 because it was too heavy. For me, it was all Justice Godzilla. Everything after Godzilla, after the sea monster, forward, that was what I wanted to see, especially the 70s films. And so my choice is Godzilla from Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. And Kyle, I have a just a short slideshow. And what I love and what I think about the film is, I think for Nakajima-san, what he made Godzilla into came through maybe the best. I think it all came together. Some may not, disappointed, may not like the film. I love it. But his portrayal of Godzilla, you could see him coming through in the human qualities of Godzilla, unlike, I think more so than any of the films previously. And given that Godzilla vs. Gigan was his last, but I think Godzilla vs. Hedorah really it's shown through. Carl, you can go to the next slide if you don't mind, and we can, what's special about this, and I didn't know when I was growing up, is here we have Satsuma-san in the Hedorah suit, and there's just something special about that in the place that this film holds in my memories. The next slide.
Satsuma-san, for those who might not be aware, Haruo Nakajima played Godzilla in the Showa era. When the Heisei era started up in 1984, Satsuma-san, who was Hedorah in this film, played Godzilla for those 7 films.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And these are just some stills I snapped just to show just all that Nakajima-san, just pours through the suit. This is Godzilla, in justice mode. So I think he becomes more human as he identifies with humanity, and boy, do we need justice in these days. So this is just a great portrayal. Just the hand motions and the agonizing with the sludge and the body motions. The suit wasn't, it didn't have to be cut in half, so it come a long way in terms of suit making. And and even the condition of the suit, to me, I loved it because to me, it's very animal-like. In the next slide, and you can just see, to be submerged in mud, junk, like that. This is the part of the movie I always say, oh no, but it's just, for me, it's awesome. And just the emotion, the emotive qualities that come through. And I think I have one more slide. And come on, the classic, the homage to Ultraman. He just, all this comes together beautifully. And yes, and then just you see his frustration, you see his pain, Godzilla's pain, you see he brings out, and then when we all, we kind of grimace a little bit when he flies, but I think it just pours through every scene. You just see Godzilla, I think, a mixture of all the films in a way, all the way through all this performance here. And then with the AIDS, and he just starts pulling what's left of Ghidorah apart. And finally, just some clips from the film. And now I chose the X-Plus 25 centimeter Godzilla 1971, which is a great representation.
Yes.
Spot on. Yep.
It's beautiful. And I would love to see a gigantic of 71 along with a Ghidorah. That's a long shot, and they're pretty big, but that would be a wonderful pair. With that said, I have one last slide in there, and I'll tell you why this movie is special to me. I had the privilege of meeting him and then many of us together at Monster Man. It was in Cherry Hill. I think it was 2015. And that was just amazing to have dinner and to meet him in person. But I had the privilege of meeting him, and I believe it was G-Con in 1996. It was 96 or 97, but I believe it was 96. And we had to go into the New Yorker hotel and out because of the way we were parking. It was me and my friends. I was like, I just got to go in. I'd never been to a Godzilla convention. And as I'm coming out, they are coming in, Nakajima-san and Satsuma-san at the same time. And I don't think anybody on the streets of New York would have known who they were. And me and my friend John are like, oh, we're going both. It's like, oh, wow. And it was like seeing Godzilla versus Ghidorah, in a sense, in person. So that was a wonderful connection that I'll never forget. Thank you, Kyle.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
What a great choice. What a great choice. I never would have chosen that one. And now I know why you did, because in a rubber suit, if an actor can actually emote disgust, like he looks disgusted in that rubber suit at the end of that film, it's like, how the hell do you do that? He was so comfortable in that suit by that point.
Right.
He was able to, like you said, and that's a really great choice. I respect that choice. I was like, 71, why the hell did you pick that one? And like, now I know, because I listened to your segment and it's great. So thank you. I'll be quiet now.
Come back to you, Kyle. Thank you.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for contributing to that, honestly. And thank you guys all for watching and chiming in while we were doing that. There's a ton of comment in there that I'm gonna, during the intermission, I might run through and check out some of those. But there is a chance that some special people were watching live while we were doing this tribute, and so Sonoe, if you're watching, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that. All right, so I think this is the perfect opportunity for us to move on to our next. Well, we're going to take a break, a small break. I think it's just under 2 minutes, do a little intermission. And then when we come back, we have a discussion about collecting goals. And for you guys watching live and who are going to hang out for the next 2 minutes and wait for us to come back, what are some of your collecting goals out there? The example that I gave that I will talk about a little bit more during the discussion is that I still kind of want to have one of every Toho kaiju in my collection. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. Feel free to copy me if you want to. But if you have your own, definitely pop them into the chat room so we can see those when we come back. And yeah, we'll be back soon.
Yes.
のビデオ鮮明画像の東芝ビュースター、番組予約も簡単なワンタッチタイマー採用、そして魅力の10万6000円。ビデオがぐーんと身近になりました。
ウルトラマンありがとう。
東芝ビデオ4月1日新発売。
ついに日本上陸。フォルム、アクション、サウンド、全てが桁違いの迫力。君はどれを選ぶのか。バンダイゴジラ。
ホームシアターチャンネルワウワウは年間500本以上の映画をノーカットで放送。さらにスポーツ、音楽などのスペシャルプログラムもますます。
只見の方お断り。ワウワウ見るならフリーダイヤル3-80805。さあワウワウ5チャンネル。
Hey, and we're back. You guys know out there, thank you, by the way, for sticking with us. You're watching Collect All Monsters live on YouTube and on Facebook. But did you guys know that artwork that we showed just before we came back was Christine's cartoon Godzillas, her little chibi cartoons. You got to make some more. I want to get those animated, but I'm not an animator. So we'll
I
see.
wish I could too.
Man, maybe somebody who's watching live will love the show so much that they'll just do some cool animations just for fun. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to our next segment in just a couple of minutes. But I did want to highlight a couple of things really quickly from the chat when I asked people about their collection goals. I saw a couple of people respond, but man, I'm looking at all sorts of Godzilla and Nakajima stuff. Thank you guys for enjoying that. I had a lot of fun putting that together.
Yeah,
it could
great.
always be better though. I feel like I could do an even better one if I could like get interviews with people and have like a big giant tribute to Nakajima someday. Who knows? We shall see.
Maybe next year.
We shall see.
Could be.
I will say Robert Dwyer said he wants one representation of every kaiju, more or less.
Oh, wow.
And Kaiju Mie Addict says he wants to flesh out the rest of their 6-inch Bandai collection.
Ooh, the memorial box. Nice.
Kenton says that he at least wants the kaiju that leaves an impression on him, like King Satan and Baron Zaris from Spectre Man.
Excellent.
Oh, Spectre Man. Those shows, Spectre Man, Space Giants, and beyond, have some of the craziest monsters.
They do.
They do.
Love them. Love them.
Johnny Sacco.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, right? So anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about collecting goals. And, so let's give a little bit of a backstory here. Originally, one half of this episode was supposed to be dedicated to a toy show that was scheduled to be taking place last weekend, and that would have been Super Festival in Tokyo. But, of course, it's canceled. There's no Super Festival this year, or at least not early this year. It's a bummer.
Sad.
It is a bummer, but we had to scramble to come up with the cool thing. Just kidding. We decided that we were going to sort of talk about what we want as collectors in terms of your own collection. Like what is it that, first up, was it that drives you to want to hone something in? And what, are you good at it? Like, what's your favorite stuff to to do? What are you doing? What are your goals as a collector? I think I mentioned this on one of the episodes. Dave Filoni, the guy who directed the Clone Wars and has done some of the Mandalorian stuff, he's a huge Godzilla fan. And what he's had to do is he only collects Mechagodzilla related stuff. If it's from the first Mechagodzilla movie or the second Mechagodzilla movie, the Showa era stuff, he's like, I'll collect it, but other than that, I won't get anything. So it's like that's
specific.
his goal is to keep it really reined in. You know, I have mad respect for that because I don't want to do that, and that seems so restrictive to me because I love so many of the monsters. But there's something interesting and there's something kind of like respectable about that. Like not. It's like, yes, I go hog wild. I buy everything. There's no
it takes
respect
some
in that.
control to be able to focus
it takes some
that
control.
much
Absolutely,
It's control and it's discipline to sort of like say, hey, this is my jam. I'm gonna stick to it, and it's both easier and harder at the same time because you really have to search for stuff you don't already have. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's a double-edged sword. Like it's easy. I've only got one thing to collect, but hey. Now I got to really search for the really exclusive, unreleased things that no one else has seen before. So I have a lot of respect for it. It takes a lot of discipline.
That's like Jessica Etchels in her Angios collection. She's
Absolutely.
got pretty much
That's a perfect example.
Still I've never even seen or heard of before. She's that.
And James Hartman and his Desu Goji collection.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, right? I mean, that guy has
impressive.
Like more Desu Gojis that I think many people in Asia and US. He's got a lot of them and a lot of really interesting ones. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for people who do that and have that discipline. I certainly do not.
Nope.
Have it myself, as you can see.
Yeah. Right. Well, so you have. David's got an example of a different kind of goal that we're going to be talking about,
Yes,
right?
I do. Absolutely
David's, what's your collecting? What's the collecting goal you're going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about. It's twofold. First part is like something that we all should sort of implement in 2021. Really appreciate what we have. Okay. Really embrace and appreciate the stuff we have. We all have a lot of stuff, and we're lucky to have it, and it's awesome stuff. And I know it's so hard to say, if I get this next piece, I'm going to be satisfied. And that's true for about 10 minutes. And then, oh, look at that one. But having said that, I'm really going to try my hardest and make it happen to really appreciate what I have and consolidate what I've got. And I'll expand on that just a little bit. But yes, indeed, that's what I'm going to be talking about.
How about you, Christine? What's a collection goal that you're going to be talking about?
I'd like to focus more on a certain company now. I mean, a lot of people know I'm into the toy graph. Well, I don't even have any out here yet. But I want to focus a little bit more on Pilot Ace. It's gonna be fun. It's,
all right, we'll save that for when we get your photos ready.
Oh, nice. Jealous.
All right, so there's probably more comments in there. Sorry, I can't get to every single one of them. But I did want to say, like, the one that I mentioned, me wanting to have every single Toho kaiju, and that's not restrictive, right? That's more like at least one of every Toho kaiju, because I can't get rid of my Giegans. That'd be ridiculous. Right? So I actually have, you can't really see it on here, but I have a text list on my phone that's basically, first up, it's the kaiju names in Japanese. So they're easily copyable and searchable from the comfort of using my phone.
Very smart.
Yep. So man, I got tips like that going back to before smartphones. I used to have bookmarks that saved that you could just go to. I want to look at the Mechagodzilla results on Yahoo Japan. Dangerous. So dangerous for me at the time. Anyway, so yeah, I have a note on my phone that not only does it have the names of kaiju in Japanese, but it also has a list of the monsters that I feel like I'm missing from my collection. And so these days, instead of doing something like buying a monster I already have a bunch of. What I actually should probably be doing is looking at that list and going, oh, you know what? I don't have a Matango in my collection right now. And then laser focusing on that. And so I can basically like check those off. Maybe by the end of 2021, should my New Year's resolution be to collect every Toho Kaiju this year? It's pretty doable, actually. It's not that many left. But I'm happy that I'm happy that it's so much easier these days to find that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Man, I would be out of luck if you think about like 20 years ago. If somebody said, "Okay, go find yourself a Matango figure."
Oh yeah, there wasn't that much there. Yeah.
All right. Well, so now that I've sort of spilled my guts for what my collecting goal, one of my collecting goals is, who wants to go next? John, what's one of your collecting goals?
Books have always been my thing. Just as much as the vinyl figures, I will always want the next X-Plus, iteration of Godzilla or Kaiju, Toho Kaiju. But for me, since last year, I've just been drawn to want to collect as many Showa artifacts, if I can call them that. I want tickets, pieces of paper, ads from the newspaper. I want as much as I can get the original, not just a reproduction, but original pieces from each of the 15 Showa films. So, and Heisei, I want all the tickets. I want, I don't collect posters because I don't have much wall space, but that's kind of my goal. I'm really into this ticket thing and paper products right now. And it's, I go on buy and I just search, and it's like, wow. So when I got the Mechagodzilla ticket, it just felt like like 1974, like I'm in line, and about to my kids turn it on TV. So paper and Showa paper, I can call it that. That's a big goal.
Awesome, man. And I love paper kaiju goods. I'm all about that. This item I got in the mail, a few days ago. This was so different. This showable. I mean, just the landscape. I'd seen photo pictures of the cover before, but never the inside. And there's so many pictures inside that I hadn't seen before. And it's like, wow, it feels like I'm seeing the film almost over again. It's like, oh, I want more. And when I love the old printing and graphic design, approaches, it just resonates deep, So
and
aside
a piece
from
of
aside from just a general paper kaiju paper goods, is there anything specific that you're like I know you're a Mechagodzilla guy. Are you looking for, you just said like all the tickets and stuff, basically anything that's original paper goods. Is there anything that you would say, no, I got to draw the line at Ultraman programs? I don't know. I'm just making it up. But what?
It's really difficult. I've already drawn lines. Like, I hate to say this, I love Ultraman, but I know once I go down that path with buying Ultraman again, I have a lot of Ultraman stuff boxed up, but it's so much, and Vince. There's others that keep pushing me over the edge. Rich's awesome, Ultraman collection of X-Plus. But so Ultraman, when I find the item that I really, gotta have it, like having the album from David. But so certain things is, I'm more exclusively Godzilla, and I've always had a problem. I have to be dedicated to one Godzilla, or I can't do this and that. I used to, no, I'm just focused, and so I do draw lines there, and I do have to draw lines on X-Plus on what I can, It's hard to do that.
Totally, dude.
You can always get the light up. I don't know.
I don't buy the 30 centimeter figures, just as a rule. I have 3 left over from when I was buying them, but whenever a new one comes out, I don't even get tempted by it.
Wow.
That's the tough part. I have to have both representations and multiple representations. I want another 3 more 62s. I need more and more Kim Goji. But gosh.
Keep it going. You must collect all the monsters, John.
I'm overwhelmed by Showa, and more. I'm coming back to Heisei because that used to be, that was. At one point I was more Heisei than Showa, but now I'm leaning back a little bit more. So, and it seems more vintage now that we're 20 years plus years removed.
Yeah.
So everything
It kind of does.
Yeah. So man, it's really wonderful.
Never thought I'd say there's a nice vintage quality about the Heisei stuff.
No, Heisei's not vintage yet. No.
Mm-hmm.
In '84, I mean, I want everything from '84.
Does that mean I'm?
I'm quietly obsessed with everything from '84. I can't afford everything, but I have a nice growing '84 paper collection. I would love. I want a X-Plus Cybot. Somebody's got to give me a Cybot. But
yes,
yeah. I mean, a gigantic
You're the
Cybot.
Medicom toy Cybot.
Yeah, I know.
I love
See, that's why I drew a line. Because if I go down the road of soft, vinyl and the stylized, I'm done. I mean, I tried a little
Get
bit.
rid of all that stuff behind you, then, man.
I know because I know.
No, the line was drawn after I bought those.
Yeah, that's right.
If I can get more Travel Mean Boy and Prashant David, like those kind of like cast kind of, but give me King Caesar statue, that like you said, Kyle, earlier, those special, unique kind of moments and things from the film.
Deep cuts, yeah.
Deep cuts.
Well, John, you're sticking to your guns because technically '84 is considered a Showa film. It's not really Heisei. So you're doing good. You're all right. You're okay.
I'm trying. So is it my turn to hand it off since it's a playoff day in the NFL?
I think so, yeah.
Leslie? Or give me that. Hand it off
well, when this question came about, I started thinking like, what are my collecting goals? Because pretty much I just collect whatever I want. Now, out of all the awesome people on this panel, I'm the one that really collects just from maybe one or two toy companies, maybe three. I don't have Marmots. I don't do Bull Marks. I don't do SH Monster Arts. I don't do Popies. I don't do Marusan. I don't do any of that. And that's fine because those figures don't really speak to me. But if it speaks to you, then hey, then have at it. But I'm more into the realistic stuff, which is why I do the X-Plus, the occasional model kit or whatever. So really my goal for 2021 is just be more selective of what I get. I know I've been saying it like I sound like a broken record when I say that, 'cause I've been saying that many times before, but I'm being more selective because I'm being more mindful of space, because for one, I don't really want to get to a point where I want to sell an old figure to get a new one. And I don't want to be one of those collectors that buys something just for the sake of buying something. Or do I want to be a collector that buys figures that put them on top of figures or put them in storage and you can't properly display them? I just don't want to be that type of collector. And with all due respect to people who are in that situation, that's just not what I want to do with my collecting. But whatever speaks to me, I'm going to go after. And I don't want to be one of those collectors that when I see something for pre-order and it's like, really, should I get this? And if you're questioning that at the time of pre-order, maybe it's a sign that you shouldn't get it. So if anything, my collecting goals really kind of speaks to really not want to collect every single thing, but being very smart with your collecting endeavors. And if anything, I also want to encourage others and give stuff that I've learned along the way as being a collector and pass that off to other people. Maybe it could help them. So if anything, that's really the major two goals I want to do as far as 2021. I mean, I already know I'm already booked up for the foreseeable future. Lots of X-Plus that's coming out that I know I'm definitely getting, like the new Gigantic 54. I'm double dipping on the Serizawa DefoReal, the Biollante DefoReal I'm definitely getting.
Ouch.
Like I mentioned, come next month, I didn't have anything for show and tell earlier, but I'm gonna be like Santa Claus come next episode. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But as far as like being just my collecting goals, just basically just have fun. Because I feel like once the fun is gone, there's no point of being a collector anymore. So that's what I have to say about that.
All right, Christine, this is
My
your
turn.
opportunity. Now you get. I've got the photos ready for you.
Okay. So, well, my goals have actually, I think, as long as everyone's, like your goals change over the years. So when I first started collecting, I was huge into the realistic. I started out with the S Monster Arts, and then I moved on to the X-Plus, and then I got my first Spoofy or Softy in, I think it was 2014, and then that was it. Like, I was head over heels, diving head first into the soft vinyl. So really big into Toygraph, but now I have my eyes set on the Pilot Ace figures, which is kind of, it's exciting to look for them, but also it's kind of disappointing because a lot of the prices are more than I want to pay. So there's a lot of things I would like to have that I probably won't ever get, but there's a few that are in my range that I've been hunting down. I got my very first Pilot Ace. I got the 54 maquette, which it's still boxed up, so I don't have it now with me, but I'll be going to one of my detops in a little bit. But I want to get, next I'm looking for the 64 Pilot Ace, the blue one, maybe the red one. There's a red one.
Back has one, by the way. Showcase Kaiju has
I saw that. The one I want comes with the little, because a lot of the Pilot Ace figures come with a little like bonus piece, and I really like. It's like, it kind of reminds me of like the Marmot Parrot Babies, where they come with like the little bonus set pieces. If you want to show my pictures, Kyle, I can just go through. I put my glasses on so I can see what I got on here. Oh yes, I don't think it's gonna be in my reach ever. Maybe if I win the lottery or something. But a few of these have been up on Yahoo Japan auctions recently. This is the colorway that I would like, but they're a bit pricey. I think this is super cute. There's a couple different colorways of all of these figures that I'll be showing here. But yeah, I like this one. It's very great. I think it's really cute. You got little Nina up there, and it's just a really cute pose. And I don't know. That's just a really heartwarming movie. So yeah, oof. Definitely want one. Oh, yeah. So I've seen this a few times, and I had a chance to get a couple years ago for like about half of what it's selling for now, and I was like, dang it, I should have just went for it. But the Pilot Ace King Ghidorah is such an impressive figure. It's huge, and it's got, I mean, this is the colorway that I like. There's also another one that I hardly ever see. Actually, I think Nev has one. It's blue.
Right.
And we all know I love blue, so I'm kind of into the blue figures. But I love the rainbow color. I would love to track one of these down someday. I'll start saving my pennies. So, this is the 64 set I want.
That's the one that Sean has. Sean has that one.
But it doesn't have I don't think, I'll have to ask him, but I don't think it comes with the little, where he's popping out of the ground down there. I've had my eye on this one for a while. I'm just waiting to pull the trigger on it. But no, I think Pilot Ace figures and they're big. They're big figures. They're bigger. They're not as big as X-Plus, but they're bigger than the standard size, M1 and all that.
I would say they look bigger than an X-Plus in terms, because they're bulkier. You know what I mean? That's right. Like the first time I saw photos of a Pilot Ace figure, I had just assumed it was like a 6-inch figure. Yeah. And then when I saw one in person, probably David's house was the first time I saw one in person.
Here's an example.
Like, wow. Wait, let me do this.
That's the maquette.
The maquette. Yep.
He's super big. He's nice and bulky. And they are great. And Christine, I think you forgot to mention that Pilot Ace is no longer. There's no Pilot Ace anymore.
Longer.
So that makes it even harder to find these figures. Marusan, actually Vinyl Wars, does occasionally do a reissue of some of the sculpts that Pilot Ace has done in the past, but I haven't seen any Godzillas come out.
No,
I've only seen like the Harryhausen stuff. But yeah, they're great. I love Pilot Ace. Pilot Ace is I have quite a few, and I absolutely love them.
Yeah, they're great figures. They just have a lot of personality, I think, and obviously I like the bright colors and all that. So yeah, I'm hunting down the 64. There's a few. I don't want like all of them. Oh, the 54. So there's a beautiful. This is. You have this one too?
I do.
David.
I love Pilot Ace.
And these are cool because it's interesting because the Pilot Ace, the colorways would come with different, like little mini pieces. So like I think this one here came with a trilobite as a bonus figure.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's what I really like is they come with neat little mini extras. Like the 54 maquette version that I have has a little mini piece of Godzilla peeking over the top of the hill. And the 64 has Godzilla coming out of the sand, but there's a red 64 that has Godzilla fighting Mothra. So it's interesting how they have different colorways that come with different mini dioramas.
Black 64.
Yeah, what's that one?
Wow. Oh, that is awesome.
I think I like those.
These themselves are great little collector's items, like Christine said. And like I said, the trilobite. Oh, here. Yeah, this is the one that she was talking about. Sorry, I'm reaching over. This is the little Godzilla coming over the. He's crouched down over there. It's super cute. So Pilot Ace is one of the greatest companies, and you know, I know our friend Nev Michael has got a huge Pilot Ace collection. And
he does.
And
if you guys check out his Facebook or his Instagram, he's got some great pictures. Like it's like goals. He has some great Pilot Ace pieces.
Great goal to have.
And I think
people are laughing. By the way, David. David has everything. David's just flexing.
No, David doesn't have everything. David's an idiot. David actually sold his Daisenso Rodan. I
have it in here
Rodan, like a dumbass. I sold that, and I also sold my King Ghidorah. Yeah, that's when I sold it because it came with a set. It came with a little Planet X dude.
Yeah,
and a blue 65 Godzilla, which I sold because I got the gold 65 Godzilla in Japan when I was on the trip with Kyle. So it's like I couldn't have both. And no, David does not have everything. David,
you either had it or you do have it.
just be careful with the King Ghidorahs because a lot of that particular sculpt, one of the wings is usually off. And just if that like I had one and it bugged me for the longest time because it would not fit in there right, and it looked a little off. So just be really cautious when you try to pick one of those up. Make sure the seller shows you various angles of it because I don't know if that kind of thing bugs you, but the one wing it just fit right in there. So it happened on 2 different Pilot Ace King Ghidorahs, so just be really careful about that.
Dang, and I'm gonna start a little Pilot Ace fund like off the side, like $20 a month or something until I get.
But the good news is now we all know what you want, so we can keep our eyes peeled. And if anything comes our way, we can pass it on to you or just pass you the information.
Because I do want to get this set with the Rodan and the Godzilla and the little alien. I think. Do I have those pictures in there, Kyle? Oh, yeah, there we go. There's the Godzilla.
That was actually a set. Yeah, that was a set. It came with the Rodan, the Godzilla, and the Planet X dude. Now Kyle actually has a Gamora from Pilot Ace, which is pretty cool. A different series from Pilot Ace, but a more realistic series.
Yeah, I do. I can get that.
And this is from Pilot Ace too. This is the Mummy.
Yeah.
Pilot Ace.
That's right. It's super rare. Great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they really put some cool stuff out there. Yeah, look at that Gamora.
Nice.
Oh, that Gamora. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
Oh.
It's huge.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
It's a 30 centimeter figure, and it really, I mean, it's like an X-Plus.
It's big.
Wow.
And
I did buy this because there, at the time there was no X-Plus available to me.
Yep.
And I think I paid $60 for this.
Oh my
Gamora.
God, that's unheard of.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the
I'd be so
realistic
lucky.
sculpt stuff is not really on people's radar, I guess.
I got one
Not,
more to show
not
you.
anymore.
This is a Pilot Ace 2 that's kind of rare. It's a Bolton 2.
Ooh. Wow.
Pretty neat. You don't see this.
That's big too.
Oh,
And he's
Ryan Mitchell is saying the Pilot Ace Gango is nice. I also have that, actually.
I sold it. Another dumbass move for me. I sold that too.
David.
I know. I know.
Seller's remorse is just a horrible thing.
He's still in Seattle. Nick Gucker has him because his wife Denise said she really loved it, so I could not sell it to them because they really loved it. But yeah, they're gone.
The only other Pilot Ace I have is the Harryhausen Dragon,
Oh, those are
and that's
so
a
nice.
that's a Sofubi style, like really cool.
Yeah, this one is the one Christine wants though. The only problem is he doesn't fit on the shelf. He has to kind of lean over.
Oh, Dave, I didn't know
Oh.
This was the very first. Okay, my first trip to Japan in 2006. I saw this in Nakano Broadway, and I picked this guy up, and I was like, "This is." I hand carried him back on the plane. This was my first Godzilla piece that I bought in Japan. I had hand carried home. So,
nice. That's a good memory to have that. I love that colorway. So every now and then I'll see him pop up, and I just get like, it was a little bit cheaper. Thanks, guys.
So I'm not really going to talk too much about. I already talked about the consolidation because my space is really limited, as you guys can see. I'm going to really try to fall in love with everything that I have, and if I don't fall in love with it, it needs to go. It needs to go out to make more space. One thing I am going to do, and I suggest that a lot of you people with extensive collections do the same. Our financial advisor actually recommended that I categorize everything and put a value to it, just in case, God forbid, there's any kind of an issue with like a fire or flood or anything like that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put everything down and put it and categorize everything so I know what I have and how much not how much I spent, but what things are worth.
Yeah.
And
actually, it would be kind of cool to put down what you spent and then what the current value is worth.
That's true.
That'd be interesting.
And just really embrace what I have. And like here's a perfect example of my new philosophy. So I love the way that the new Megalon looks, okay, the 30 centimeter. It's beautiful, and I was so tempted to get it. I didn't pre-order it, but you can still get it. Awesome Collector still has one, and a couple other places you can still get it. But I looked at my 25 centimeter Megalon, and I'm like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with this figure. It's almost identical. The paint app is a little bit better on the 30 centimeter. Some of the details a little bit crisper on the 30 centimeter. But I'm just going to do a little touch up on him, put a little red, brown Seatopian paint, and make him upgrade him a little bit. And there's no reason to have both. You know what I mean? And that's what I got to keep in my mind. I don't need two Megalons if they're both really, really similar. If one is like vastly better than the other, then I would sort of upgrade. But I'm not going to get everything under the sun. I mean, the cost is a huge factor, and also the space and the shipping from Japan these days.
Ooh,
it's really not great, and the balance from yen to dollar is not really great in our favor at this particular time either. So I'm really gonna sort of like pick and choose and find stuff like John and Kyle that are really quirky and really speak to me, obscure things that I wouldn't expect to find. Like that is my goal, and I'm gonna finish all the model kits that I haven't. I have tons of model kits that I haven't built yet that I need to do. Hopefully we can do one on the show.
Yes.
Maybe the X-Plus Mechagodzilla, that would be a good one we could do together. That would be kind of fun.
That would be awesome, actually.
That would be really awesome. Just really consolidate, make these look the best they can on what I have, and maybe switch out a couple of shelves, hang some art up. Maybe if I get Keith to, put it like in the hallway or something else, if he's cool with that. I have so much cool art that I need to hang up. Just basically focus on what I have right now. Like really, really fall in love with what I have, and not try to just keep on getting everything. And like John was referring to, like every single person up here, I agree with what they're saying. And like the Ultraman thing, John, you don't want to go down that road. What I did to myself was I sort of said, David, you are not allowed to get anything but the 66 series and some Ultra Q. You cannot get anything past that, because that, like Vince Elliott, his collection, and Ryan Butler, they've got like Ultra this, Ultra that, Ultra that. And dude, their collections are badass. And those monsters are freaking cool. But there's no way in hell. So Ultraman 66, and that's a lot as it is, because they keep doing reborns and stuff like that. But that is where I'm at in a nutshell, and let's hope I can stick to it. And I love when the collecting community comes up with words that I like to use, like catchphrases and words. I love Kyle's biatus. I love that word. And like and Rich Iso, he came up with like the quintessential one for the collecting where he came up with Box Day. We never heard that term before Richiso said it. Box Day, he made it a holiday, he made it a thing, and I love that. And you know, that's just had to say that. I don't know why I said it, I just did. But those are my goals, and let's see if I can make them come to fruition.
I think overall collecting goals, if I may summarize, collecting goals are good to have. But they're not necessary, because I think, as everybody here has sort of echoed, even if they didn't say these words out loud, you collect what you like, you collect what you love, you collect what makes you feel good at the end of the day. And you know, if you're not liking what you're collecting, why are you collecting it, right? Right. So I don't really have a good ending to that segment. I think just pow, there you go. There's the ending.
Well, the ending is Leslie's statement. The ending is Leslie's statement. If it's not fun anymore, don't get it. Don't collect it. If it's no longer fun, like Marie Kondo, if it doesn't spark joy, there's no reason to have it. Just enjoy what you have, and that's it.
Sell it to me if you don't want it. Maybe I'll buy it. Sell it to me. I'll buy it.
Oh man, just a quick sidebar. David and I were chatting the other day, and just sort of bringing back things from earlier in the show. One of the ideas that we had we're talking about things to do in the group, the Facebook group. So we didn't want the Facebook group to just become a place where people sell stuff all the time. So I think once or twice a year, we're probably going to organize like a Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors garage sale, where everybody who wants to sell stuff would like sort of just get together one weekend out of the year or whatever, and just sort of like put their stuff up. So if you know you're a viewer of the show, you could actually go like maybe score some deals that day. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think it's brilliant. We're going to make that happen.
But that's your statement about selling stuff, Christine, jogged my memory about that. Anyway, what an even worse segue to end that segment, because it's let me think here. I think this is where we're going into Leslie, you want to do your figure of the year?
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so explain to the people who may not be in the X-Plus scenarios what's going on here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, around this time of year, us X-Plus collectors would get together and talk about what was the best figure release from X-Plus from the previous year. And normally we have like just one poll where we pick like maybe 5 or 6 of the most popular X-Plus figures and we vote on that one. But I was put in charge of the polling this year. I decided to change up things a little bit and I actually incorporated 9 different categories to not only show love to the most popular ones, but to show love to the ones that we may forget about, that have came out, during the year, because a lot can happen in one year. And outside of the most popular ones, it's very easy to forget about that cool figure or that cool figure that came out. So I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to John Stanowski for putting this on me. I really do appreciate it. It was fun getting this stuff together. I also want to thank John Stanowski, AJ Russo from Kaiju Live, Gojira 851, and David Air Dopko for helping me out with the show last week. Now, of course, if you're a part of the Kaiju Addicts Facebook group, X-Plus Kaiju Addicts Facebook group, and the X-Plus Collectors Facebook group, I put together 9 categories, and I will detail you the winners right here, right now. The people have spoken, and here's what you said. The first category is, what was the best Rick Light-Up X-Plus figure of 2020? The winner is the 25cm 2019 Godzilla. So yes, he won.
Sick.
Are we supposed to applaud for these?
Should we clap?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Confetti.
Category number two. What was the best DefoReal Monsterverse release? The winner, Mothra 2019.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty.
All right. Category number 3. What was the better alternative reissue Gigantic by a landslide? And was no competition, unfortunately. The Gigantic Purple Shin was considered the best alternative reissue Gigantic. Category number 4. What was the best DefoReal of Godzilla himself that came out in 2020? From these choices was the 55, the 74, and the 2000. The 2001 that category. Yes. All right. Category number 5. What was the best DefoReal of a villain? Mechagodzilla 74 from the Showa, Space Godzilla from the Heisei, or Orga from the Millennium? Orga won that category, ladies and gentlemen. Orga won.
Really?
Yes, Orga won. Oh, my God, this is like going to church when it comes to the DefoReal. And if this one is this awesome, can you imagine how Baalante is going to look, Christine? How Baalante?
I can't wait. Oh, God. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hit that pre-order button.
That's craziness.
All right. Category number 6. Which movie had the better crop of figures? The 1974 film Godzilla with the Mechagodzilla, with the gigantic Mechagodzilla, and the DefoReal of Godzilla King Caesar, or Godzilla 2019 with the gigantic burning Godzilla and multiple DefoReal, the 25 centimeter 2019. 1974 won. 1974 won.
That's right.
All right. 3 more categories and that's it. Number 7, category number 7. What was the best Gamera/Dai figure release that came out in 2020? It was the Battle Damage Gamera 99, Iris, or the favorite sculptors line Gamera 65. The Gamera 65 won that category, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yes, good. Yes, good.
Category number 8. What was the best overall DefoReal figure release of 2020? The Orga Rick. The Orga Rick won that category.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And finally, the last category between these 5. Once again, these 5 I picked because these were the 5 that had the most buzz, that had the most attention that came out in 2020. Of course, the Yusakai 84, the 25 centimeter 2019 Godzilla, the 30 centimeter Godzilla 93, the Star A/X-Plus Kong 2.0, or the gigantic Mechagodzilla 1974. And I'm about to bring up the figure right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all voted. You made your voices be heard. The X-Plus figure of the year of 2020 is, drum roll, the Sakai 84. The Sakai 84.
Wow. So again.
Yeah, so Godzilla won the figure of the year again because for the past 7 years, like since we've been doing this figure of the year, like in 2014, the gigantic burning Godzilla, the original, that was for the figure of the year. 2015 was the Sakai 91. 2016 was the gigantic 62. 2017 was the gigantic Shin. 2018 was the 25 centimeter 65 Godzilla. And last year was the Sakai 2002. So once again, another Sakai and another Godzilla, one figure of the year. Came down really to the 84 and Mechagodzilla, but Mechagodzilla fell just a little bit short.
I can't believe it.
But overall, the X-Plus figure of the year, according to y'all, is the X-Plus Yuji Sakai 30 centimeter 1984 Godzilla. So congratulations. It
is beautiful.
So John Ruffin, if I would have received my gigantic Mechagodzilla, maybe that one vote would have put him over the top, but I still haven't got it yet, so I couldn't do it.
Just remember, you won't be able to vote for it ever again.
Hey.
We missed out on the mechanical marvel. It's been defeated.
All right. Well, thank you, Leslie.
That was awesome, Leslie.
Yeah. No problem.
It was at the end there.
It was awesome, and actually, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you did vote for the gigantic Mechagodzilla, don't feel bad. Don't start any type of like wars on Facebook. I think all the figures that X-Plus put out in the year 2020 are winners, considering the fact that a pandemic hit the world. It was lucky that anything got out of Japan. So actually, every figure release is kind of like a blessing. So if you chose Orga, if you chose a 93, if you chose Mechagodzilla, if you chose Iris, they're all winners. So we're all winners here at the end of the day.
That's right.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and move along to the next small segment we got here. Similar to what Leslie did, but much less organized, I would say, and definitely with much less output, we ran our own sort of poll informally on the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors Facebook group to determine what would be the monster collectible of the year.
Yes.
And I am happy to report that we had this thread had over 100 comments.
Nice.
Many people suggesting lots and lots of different things. Lots and lots of different things. Right? So this was not like anything that we could literally say, yes, the 5 people who voted for this or whatever, however many it was, really that deserves to be like the winner. But it was pretty resounding. The hands down winner of that, just in terms of people commenting in that post, was absolutely the gigantic
There you go.
X-Plus Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is not, I don't have this one. It's not going to be one that I get. I think it's amazing. I've loved seeing the photos of it since its development, when we even saw like the clay prototype on display.
Right.
Really cool to finally see it like in people's hands too. You going to show that off right now, Leslie or John? Anybody?
I don't have your body.
All right.
Hold on.
Fine. It's cool.
I wish I had a.
You know, X-Plus, when X-Plus releases those photos of the people holding the figure so you can see the scale, I get really excited when I see those. That's a brilliant thing to do, because that sells for me. Oh, there he is.
There's the champ. Yes. It is a quintessential Mechagodzilla.
It's essential. As my favorite celebrity, RuPaul, says, "You're a winner, baby." You're a winner, baby.
Becomes articulated. Yes, he's awesome. You can
Wait,
do
here,
all
hang
this
on
stuff.
a second. Let me give you the big screen. Show him off.
Yes,
Oh my gosh,
you can do all this stuff.
Show him off.
You can do this. You can do all this.
Oh yeah.
Chest plate. Yes.
Oh no way.
He's swivel.
There you go. You can do all that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, look at all that space titanium.
Oh, okay, exactly.
A lot of space titanium.
Yes. The legs can move, torso. I mean, it's beautiful.
His tail can move. Look.
Hey, I can't wait.
Unquestionably, this is the best X-Plus Mechagodzilla that they have ever done. Better than the 75, better than the 30 centimeter 74. This is the best. So, David, I know you. I know you're trying to not bite the bullet, but trust me, dude. Make an exception with him.
You're right.
Make him the lone exception.
You might have changed my mind.
We'll raise the funds for you. Let's do a GoFundMe for your DHL.
Hey, I won't say no.
Okay. Work that out.
All right. So so we had our own, monster collector of the year, or collectible of the year. And I definitely wanted to say that while I don't have this figure, I was saying that this is not something that I own. It's not something that I would buy. I was pretty impressed with a lot of the stuff that got popped into those comments. And so I thought I'd just ask my co-host, was there anything that you thought was a really good runner-up, or something that you were really impressed with? I'll just go ahead and start off by showing off the ones that I think absolutely were contenders for collectible of the year. And I'm going to need some help because I don't know the full details here. But the number one piece that I will show off is something that Christine talked about. And that's this Marusan,
the clear
the Mechagodzilla with the clear. So this came out last year at the very end of the year. I think it was like definitely a pop-up shop kind of situation. And yes, these are expensive, just brand new. If you were to get one, it would be in I think the $300 range. Please don't quote me on that. I don't remember. However, this figure is probably maybe the first figure I saw that made me stand back and go, dude, because that is cool, right? This at least of 2020. And even on top of that, if this one wasn't enough, I think this guy.
I almost pulled the trigger on that one. Almost.
How much was that?
500? Well, hang on. Not at the show. It wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah, it
500
wasn't
at the show.
Oh, not at the show, but when
No.
Afterwards.
But when these are being released at the show, if you can get them, they are expensive, like $200-$300, right? So if you see these on the aftermarket and they have $500 price tags, that is why. And yes, absolutely, there was a split second, David, where I saw this and I was like, "Ooh, man, is it worth it?" Because that's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
But
of
at the
money.
same time,
That's a lot
this
of
is a really,
But it's so
really
unique.
unique figure. Very, very
really
unique.
is.
Very
And this
unique.
one
Oh,
is
they
actually
like
based
it.
off of the Space Godzilla story, right? Like where he's like been cut open on the beach. It's so
Yes,
crazy.
that's correct. Yeah.
That's so
Even if it's
weird.
not based off of the Space Godzilla, and it's just based off of the anatomical drawings. I think that's amazing too, because I've seen people do that on their own.
Yeah.
We can hope and pray that they do a reissue of it in a different color scheme. That would be, I mean, it could happen. You never know.
It's
but
possible.
Was
It's
it-
possible.
that's one of those. That's one of those. That's Anraku and Saku, or no?
No, I thought it was.
See,
it
I don't know.
Or Sarjushi.
That's why.
Yeah,
hopefully
Shirajushi.
somebody.
It was Sarjushi. Okay.
And
Oh,
you
because
know,
he did the 64 too.
Yep,
He did the
yeah, it's the 64 Godzilla, and they did the blank blue 64, the unpainted. Remember, I saw that blank unpainted,
He did the
and that's
painted
the
one
same
of that.
actually, that's the same sculpt, but painted black with the clear. And it's definitely unique. That's quirky. That's the kind of thing that I am after, but not for 500 plus shipping. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, that figure reminds me of, and you may not all be old enough to remember this, but there were plastic model kits of the human body.
Yeah.
And you put the intestines.
Yeah.
I would love to see that in a plastic kit. Or I know this might be much for X-Plus to do, but put the uranium sac in there, and
Oh my God. Yeah, John, that was a Christmas present from the Sears catalog. It was called the Visible
Yep. That's right.
Man, and they had a woman too. Visible Man.
Yes.
Absolutely, Kyle. Perfect choice. Absolutely, 100%. I agree.
Now, David, you had a runner-up that you wanted to talk about.
I did. I have a really awesome runner-up, and you have an image for it right there.
Oh, of course I do.
Somewhere. It is the 40 centimeter resin KOC 1964 Godzilla kit. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this thing if you haven't heard it from me already. It is a solid resin kit. It's big, it's heavy. The detail is incredible. It comes with two separate heads, open mouth and a closed mouth. And the cool thing about it is it's held together with a magnet. So you can take the piece off and you can put whatever head you have on there. And hold on, let me show you something real quick. You can also, it comes with this great little stand, right? A little, and you can put whatever head you're not using on the stand.
So awesome.
And as you can see, it comes with clear
The eyes are fabulous.
resin lenses. Okay.
Wow.
And I painted one for myself and I painted one for AJ Russo, which is actually, I shipped it out this morning. He should be getting it by Wednesday. And actually the next one on board, which I should finish this month, is for Mr. Rich Iso, Fresh Vinyl himself. And the only reason that I would ever consider building and painting and shipping a 40 centimeter delicate resin piece is because you can disassemble it because it's held together with pins and magnets. And I put it right back in the box, right back in the styrofoam, and I ship it right as it was shipped to me. So I've never had more fun and more joy building a resin kit because there's no trimming, there's very little sanding. It's basically you wash the pieces and you paint them and assemble it. And it's so I can't say enough. It's KOC Akira Ibaraki, who coincidentally did the prototype sculpt for the new Megalon for X-Plus.
Yes.
And Ibaraki-san also did one of the best X-Plus Godzillas ever made, if not the best Godzilla X-Plus ever made, the 30 centimeter 64 Rick closed mouth Godzilla, and standard as well. So Ibaraki-san did that one as well. This one, he took it and upped the game a little bit. So yes, my choice. I've got 3 of them, got 1 more to do. Rich, thank you for your patience. It's coming. The good news is I get better as I do each one, and the next one's going to be the best ever. So that's my choice, hands down, no question about it. Excellent. There you go.
Hey, David. Hey, David.
Yes, sir.
Hey, David.
Yes. Hey, Leslie.
Ryan Mitchell said in the chat that the next KOC would be a 40 centimeter 62.
Oh, snap.
Oh, wow.
Now you tell him. Oh man.
Now I might, David, I need you on that.
All right, come on. Okay, all right. I'm only going to build one besides mine, and John, you got that one. So. Okay.
Oh wow, that'd be amazing. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you think the future of kits will be pins and magnets and minimal?
Dear Lord, I hope so, John, because I got to tell you, the way that you basically take it out of the box and it's ready to build. I mean, Ryan can tell you there's a lot that goes into prepping for a resin model kit. There's air bubbles, there's flash, there's all kinds of things that you have to do to it before you can even begin putting it together. So as in all resin kits, and all model kits, you have to give it a wash first to get all the residue off.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that, and it's ready to go, man. It's ready to go, and it's so easy to paint because you can take the pieces out. Oh, by the way, the mouths come off too. I'll show you. You can just take the mouth right out. See?
Oh, get out of here!
And that's the magnet too.
You put it right back in there.
Oh.
I mean,
man.
The only thing that I found difficult was the eyes. Getting those plastic lenses on. I mean, resin lenses on there without smearing it with glue. That could ruin the piece. So what I did is they finally came up with, I didn't even know they had it. They have a clear Elmer's glue. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And Elmer's glue, you can just kind of scrape right off with like a little toothpick. So I put all the Elmer's glue on there, scraped it off, did a little retouch on the outside, but it takes a long time to get it just right. And they don't fit exactly right. That's not the perfect part of it, but I got it to work. They look great. I got to say, as much as I absolutely love the X-Plus and I love the M1 50 centimeter, just the way the detail is on this, it's so crisp. There's no passing this one up for me. And
awesome.
If any of you want to get Ibaraki-san's model kits, they're amazing. He's got a beautiful G2K that just came out at Christmas time. He's got the 54 that I missed along the line somewhere. And he's got a Burning Godzilla, a 95 Desugoji, and I'm sure, like Ryan just said, there's now a 62 coming out. Oh my God!
Wow.
I got to see the sculpt first, but we shall see. I really hope that this is the future of resin model kits because honestly, any one of you guys could probably put this together. Seriously.
I'll wait for that 89 to come out. Waiting for that 89.
You know what? I don't doubt that. There'll probably be an 84 coming. I mean, he's banging him out.
Overrated. 84.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I took way too much time on that. That's my choice.
No worries. Does anybody else have something that they want to share, or should we go ahead and move on to the next segment? All right, next segment it is. You know what that is? That would be our Monster Showcase, David.
Woohoo! All right, Monster Showcase. This was fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's see what you guys did.
Easy enough to intro this. Basically, this is the hashtag was 2020 Kaiju Haul, and we wanted to see everybody's Kaiju Haul. Like, what did you get in 2020?
What did you get?
So here it goes.
Great haul.
Excellent work, everybody.
All right. So, as you saw, and as I'm furiously typing out right now, the next Monster Showcase hashtag is Uchu Kaiju. And what does that mean, David?
It means space monster, literally space monster. So any space monster. Let's actually, Mechagodzilla is not really a space monster. It could be, Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, just Space Godzilla. You got Vidas. King Ghidorah. Go ahead. Help me out. Who do we got? Gigan. You know, all of the ultra villains that come from space, from all of the different series, space monsters. Let's see what you got. All these creatures that descend on us from outer space. And while I'm talking, something very exciting for you kaiju toy photographers. We are starting with this next hashtag. All of us co-hosts will be choosing our favorite photo from the hashtag, and the winner will get a Collect All Monsters prize. And, and the prize will be, this first one, a Collect All Monsters mug. That will be the very first prize. So basically, you know, let's do it. Do your best, make it awesome, and let dazzle us with your kaiju photography. And and what we're going to do is, after the episode, like right after we air it, we're going to stick around for about 5-10 minutes and debate and see which one we think is the best. And then at the end of the year, we are going to choose the best of the best. The best from every single month will win a nice grand prize. So, to be determined. We haven't got that far yet, but it'll be 2 mugs. No, I'm kidding. We will figure that out as the year rolls on. But we just wanted to make it a little more fun, a little more incentive for you guys to get involved and have some fun with us, and do these hashtags. So don't forget, you can submit them to on Instagram, hashtag Uchikaiju, or on our Facebook group, Uchikaiju Facebook Monster Collectors. I can't even talk. Help me out.
Collect All Monsters, Monster Collectors.
That's it. He's got it. I think I'm about done with my talk. Anyway, just shoot a damn awesome picture. We're gonna pick one that we like, and we're gonna give you a prize. So that and the winners will be announced the following Sunday morning in our Facebook collectors group. So there you have it. That's pretty exciting.
And hey, what a great segue! Winning prizes. I'm here to talk about one last thing for this particular episode, and it's something that's been on the docket for a long time, but we're literally right about there. Actually, let me ask all of you viewers, are you following Collect All Monsters on Instagram? If you're on Instagram, Collect All Monsters TV is the account. And right now, wait, let me refresh it first. Make sure that I'm not saying anything incorrect. Right now, we are at 998 followers.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Wow.
When we get to 1,000 with just 2 more followers, which could very well happen
right now,
in the next couple of minutes, who knows? We will be giving away. There's going to be 2 things. Number one, when we get to 1,000 followers, I'm going to randomly pick one of those followers to send a thank you to. I will be picking that. If it happens right now, I'll do it right now. But other than that, we'll just
come on. Let's do it now. Do it. Come on, people.
I don't have anything ready to go.
No.
But
right.
The deal is, once we have 1,000 followers, I am giving away this. Let me make this.
That's awesome.
This is the 1954 Godzilla done up like the Marusan with the blue vinyl, silver spray, and the red eyes. This was the exclusive at the 2019 Godzilla Fest in Tokyo. One of the exclusives, along with John's Mechagodzilla model kit. But basically, so we're giving this away. And the way that happens is you'll need to go to Instagram. You'll need to, it'll be in the 1,000 giveaway post that we're going to make. You will need to follow the instructions in that post. In fact, I'm not even going to say anything else because I don't want to say something wrong. When that gets posted, follow the instructions of that post, which are going to be super simple. All you're going to need to do is comment And I'm just refreshing the page now. We've got 1,002 followers. Yes, you guys!
No, that's crazy.
All right, so tonight on the Instagram profile, I will post the photo of this with the instructions on how to win. And yeah, thank you guys so much for doing that. That's awesome. Super stoked about that.
And that's really special. Kyle hand carried that back from Japan too, so that's even cooler.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's even cooler.
Just for you,
just for
viewer.
and before I forget, David always forgets something. Now, on my new segment, I talked about the awesome Roto Kaiju kits, right? I didn't talk about how to get them, right? So
good point.
And I wasn't going to talk about how to get them, but I was just going to tell you that tomorrow, Steve, Sarah Jolie will post all that information on our Facebook group. So just check it out tomorrow, and Steve will have that up there at some point tomorrow. So
you mean this Facebook group?
I mean that Facebook group, the one that I had a really hard time spitting out before. Yeah, that one. That's the one. It's not new anymore. It's actually doing really well, and thank you for all who are making it great and participating.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It hasn't been unnoticed, and we're making a promise to keep it nice and positive and fun and drama free, which I wish I could say for a lot of other groups. But anyway.
Okay, well, I think that we have pretty much come up at the very end of our episode here. Thank you guys all for watching. I am just going to say right now, we have had 60 plus people watching during this 2.5 hour broadcast, and we are so appreciative that you guys stuck with us for
Thank you
that.
so much.
You guys are awesome. It's always a treat to see so many of the familiar names, and especially to see so many more of them in this particular episode. So I think this is when we do our little outro bits.
Yes. Kyle, you can start.
No, I finished it up with the whole big long thing. So, John.
All right.
John.
So if you're not catching this episode live, let us know in the comments if you liked what you saw or have any questions from today's episode.
So, hey, let's keep the collecting conversation going. Please join us in our Facebook group and connect with other kaiju collectors. Yes, you too can be a Collect All Monsters monster collector.
And don't keep us a secret. Oh, wait. Lovely! Back out my space. Don't keep a secret. Share us with your friends and family if you enjoy the show. All right, now you can go, Leslie.
And thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if you had a good time watching this show today.
Yes.
All right.
Yay.
So until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect all monsters.